You know, this company is something else. Well, look, they did it. They finally did it. You know, when Cody Rhodes won the Royal Rumble last weekend, we're less than a week removed from the Royal Rumble. And do you remember the first thing that Cody Rhodes did after he won the Royal Rumble? Do you remember who he looked up to and pointed up at when that Royal Rumble was over? Because I do. I was there. And I remember Cody Rhodes climbing the turnbuckles, and he looked up, and you had both champions in different skyboxes at Tropicana Field. You had Seth Rollins in one, and in the other, you had Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman. And Cody Rhodes looked up at Roman Reigns, and he pointed at him. He made it very clear who he wanted to go after at WrestleMania. He made it very clear the championship that he was most interested in going after, because it was last year at WrestleMania that Cody Rhodes got screwed. He got screwed over by the bloodline of WrestleMania, and this was going to be finally a full circle moment for him. He was going to get his revenge on Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 40. And then on Raw Monday night, it was very odd, because we had Seth Rollins come out and get in the ring with Cody Rhodes, and Seth Rollins was practically begging this man to pick him. Pick me. Go after the World Heavyweight title at WrestleMania. This is the workhorse title, right? You want to be the workhorse champion. Roman Reigns never shows up for work. Roman Reigns is never around. I'm the one that you want to get in the ring with and challenge at WrestleMania. I'm surprised he didn't get down on his knees in front of this man. It was very strange. Maybe that should have been a sign. And then they announced that Cody Rhodes was coming to SmackDown tonight. And Roman Reigns walked to the ring tonight. And did you notice who the fans were chanting for when Roman Reigns got to the ring tonight? They were chanting for Cody Rhodes. They had buy-in from the audience in Birmingham tonight. They had buy-in from the fans who wanted to see Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns in a rematch from WrestleMania 39. And they're very fortunate in that respect, because it would have been very easy over the past year for the fans to fall out of interest in seeing this match. Well, we already got it at WrestleMania last year. Cody's a loser just like everybody else, and he didn't win. Over the course of the past year, all the things they had him doing with Brock and with Nakamura, just biding his time and waiting. But they stuck with him. They invested in him as one of their top baby faces. He took the ball and ran with it. The fans haven't turned on him yet. Even though we're all sick and tired of hearing about the story, it's been played up so much it's a fucking meme now. But they had buy-in from the fans. They were chanting Cody's name when Roman came to the ring tonight. And Roman Reigns is talking crap about Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns is talking crap about Cody Rhodes. And he says, you don't want that guy. You want me. This is the title that you want to come after. And here comes Cody Rhodes. He comes down to the ring, clears the ring. It's just him and Roman Reigns. And he says, that's the title that I want. That's the belt that I want. That's the title that was taken away from my father, that Bruno Sammartino had. I don't look at it as the Hollywood belt. You can call it whatever you want. That's the championship I want. And not only that, I'm going to move the goalposts. I want that title. I want to take it from you. And I'm going to. But not at WrestleMania. Now, fuck me. I could have just sworn that I watched this guy win the Royal Rumble match, and that the winner of the Royal Rumble was supposed to come out and challenge someone to a championship match in the main event of WrestleMania. But Cody said he had a chat with somebody. He had a discussion with a certain someone, and then, boom, the music hits, and here comes The Rock, the newest member of the TKO board. Very busy man these days. He came out on Raw a month ago and said, maybe I should take a seat at the head of the table. And then we got the reports that Rock still hadn't signed on the dotted line yet. He wanted to do the match with Roman Reigns, but nothing was etched in stone. And I just thought to myself, how is this possible? The Royal Rumble is here. WWE can't keep waiting on this guy. They have to have some sense of what they're going to do at WrestleMania. They have to plan accordingly. They have to figure out what their plans are going to be. They can't just wait on this guy to make up his fucking mind. Apparently, he made up his mind. And The Rock came out, and everybody lost their minds. And he came down to the ring, and Cody put, his hand out to accept The Rock's handshake, and The Rock pulled him in. The Rock gave him a big old hug. We couldn't tell exactly what he was whispering. He was saying something to Cody Rhodes. It looked to me like maybe what he was saying is, "Dream's over, you fucking geek." But his back was turned, so, I couldn't really tell. It was hard to tell. I couldn't see his lips moving. I only hope that Cody Rhodes, when he got to the back tonight, I really hope that the first thing he did was go to the trainer's room to seek medical attention for the knife that Dwayne planted in his back. Because the last thing this company needs right now, the last thing this company can ill afford, is another injury. I mean, they're dropping like fucking flies in this company, left and right, going down to all kinds of injuries. The last thing they need is Cody Rhodes to be stabbed in the back and be out of WrestleMania. What Cody Rhodes was doing tonight on SmackDown, effectively, was he was there playing the role of Bret the Hitman Hart at WrestleMania 9. And The Rock was out there playing the role of Hulk Hogan, coming out to save the day. Funny enough, the champion that night was also part of this whole Samoan tribe. I would sit here and tell you that this fucking family must have some dirty photos or something on Vince McMahon, but that guy's got a lot more on his plate right now. That's the least of his fucking problems. That fucking deviant. So whatever it is, the Samoans always seem to have, a nice little cushy spot here in this company, as far back as I can remember, as far back as I've been a fan. CM Punk came out on Raw Monday night. He told us that he tore his tricep. He's out of WrestleMania. He was in the ring. He was crying. His tears were welling up in his eyes. And out the window went the Night 1 WrestleMania main event, because there is not a doubt in my mind that the Night 1 WrestleMania main event was going to be Seth Rollins defending the World Heavyweight title against CM Punk. CM Punk was going to go to the Elimination Chamber, which he was already advertised for, unlike Roman Reigns. He was going to go to the Elimination Chamber. He was probably going to win, and we were going to get Rollins and Punk, and that was going to be your Night 1 WrestleMania main event. Is that what happened here? Did the CM Punk injury derail their plans? And this was an audible they called earlier in the week. They got The Rock to sign on. They said, "Hey, we need you. We lost Punk. We lost our Night 1 main event. We need a big attraction." And that was the catalyst to get Dwayne to sign on and get the buy-in from him. And now we would have had Cody and Roman, but now we're going to get Roman and Rock because Punk went down. It's possible. It's possible they panicked and they pivoted to a plan B, and this is their plan B. Maybe they weren't going to do Rock and Roman at WrestleMania, and now they are. Or maybe it's just that The Rock gets what The Rock wants. After all, he is the newest board member, so he's got more power now than ever before. What The Rock wants, The Rock gets. You know who found that out years ago? CM Punk. And now Cody Rhodes is finding out the same thing. And I know why WWE is doing it. I get it. Look, it's the same reason why they did Rock and John Cena back at WrestleMania 28. Which up to that point was the biggest WrestleMania main event, the biggest WrestleMania box office they had ever done in their history. It's a huge match. That's why they did it. I thought maybe it was going to be a passing of the torch moment. They ended up having this whole 3-year-long storyline that started with Rock at 27, and then they had the match at 28. And then he lost to John Cena, and he raised his hand at 29. It was this whole story arc. And then they had to rebuild The Rock like he's fucking Humpty Dumpty because every fucking muscle and part of his body fell apart in that second match. But that's why they did it, because it's big business. It's box office. I'm not oblivious to that. I'm not a fucking idiot. I know why they want The Rock on their shows. Any promoter would want The Rock on his show because The Rock is one of the biggest stars in the entire world. And if The Rock wants to come back, WWE is not going to go, "Nope, sorry, we don't got any room for you." So I get it. I understand why they would want to do it. This is a match that Rock has talked about for years, has been asked about in interviews for years. It was supposed to happen last year, and it didn't. We wouldn't even be sitting here talking about Cody losing at WrestleMania last year, because WrestleMania last year very easily could have been Rock and Roman. And then they put their pencils down because they couldn't figure out what to do, and so we never got it. But along the way, WWE made another star. They had a story that it looked like we were on the way to paying off at WrestleMania this year. That doesn't appear to be the case any longer. Cody came out here tonight. He made it very clear he wants Roman Reigns. He wants that WWE Championship. But it's just not going to happen at WrestleMania. And so now we are led to believe that he is going to take Seth Rollins up on that offer that he made to him on Raw Monday night to challenge him for the World Heavyweight title at WrestleMania. Is that now our new Night 1 main event? In lieu of Punk and Rollins, are we going to get Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins Part 4? We've already seen it 3 times. Cody is 3-0 against this guy. Are we going to get Part 4 for the World Heavyweight title, the Workhorse title, at WrestleMania 40? None of this is confirmed. We are to infer this from what we saw at the end of the show tonight. But there are a lot of balls up in the air right now. We don't know for sure if that's what's going on here. Looks that way. Or is Cody maybe going to cash in that Rumble title match that he's owed against Roman, but maybe he's going to do it at the Elimination Chamber? That seems very unlikely to me. But it's possible. It's possible that because of the Punk injury, things are changing, and now Roman Reigns is going to work the Elimination Chamber. But here, do you honestly believe if Roman was going to work Cody and lose the title, that they would want Roman to lose on the show before he wrestles The Rock, when Roman has gone undefeated for all this time? It doesn't really fit in with what WWE probably wants this match to be, which is the battle of their top champion, undefeated now, one-on-one for so many years in singles matches. The last time he was pinned in a singles match, forget the tag match against the Usos last year, in a singles match, was at TLC in 2019 against Baron fucking Corbin. Are they going to beat Roman Reigns on the show before WrestleMania and then send him into combat against The Rock? And let's say they do that. Cody Rhodes wins. He finishes the story. He becomes the WWE champion. What does WrestleMania look like now? Because if they're doing Rock and Roman, that's the main event. No matter what, that's the main event. Cody is the WWE champion. All right, well, what does he do? He defends against Randy Orton? I'd love to see Cody defend against Randy Orton. I figure maybe that could be the SummerSlam main event. But if they did it at WrestleMania, it almost doesn't even matter who it is. Because whatever they choose to do is automatically going to be second fiddle to Rock and Roman. Not exactly the ideal situation. But is the Elimination Chamber possible? Sure, it's possible. I don't think that's very likely. Doesn't mean that Cody Rhodes is going to finish the story at next year's WrestleMania. Are we looking at 2025 and WrestleMania 41? You know, Cody Rhodes is quickly becoming the fucking New York Mets of the WWE. Maybe next year. There's always next year. Trust me, you don't want to be the New York Mets of the WWE. So is that what we're looking at? Are we looking at WrestleMania next year, perhaps? I sure as fuck hope not. Because that would mean we have another year of Paul Heyman talking into his phone. Call Roman Reigns. How riveting. Riveting television. Which also means, of course, that would allow Roman Reigns to pass Hulk Hogan's imaginary record that everybody is talking about that doesn't mean a goddamn thing. All I keep hearing about, the Hogan record, the Hogan record. Yeah, Hogan had a record in 1995, and it fucking sucked. Although, according to him, he wrote all the songs with Jimmy Hart in one night. Great fucking lyricist this guy is. You want Hogan's record? Go listen to Hogan's record. There is no fucking Hogan record. Every week I have to hear about the Hogan record. I go, really? I hear the word record, I think, man, this guy's in the top spot. What top spot is he in? I would love to know. People still fail to tell me. I keep asking the question. Nobody tells me. Oh, I see. He's going to go from number 4 to number 3. That's the record that you're talking about. That's the record that everybody is crowing about that he has to beat. Why? Because WWE is trying to bury Hulk Hogan? Because WWE is trying to hide Hulk Hogan from people? The same Hulk Hogan who was a guest at the Royal Rumble on Saturday in Tampa? The same Hulk Hogan who opened the Royal Rumble, literally in the video package, was basically the de facto host of the Royal Rumble? Boy, they're not doing a very good job of hiding this guy if that's what they're trying to do. Sounds to me like a lot of people who were talking out of their ass. Is that what we're going to get? Are we going to have to go through another year of this? Another year of the bloodline? We don't know for sure. I will say that WrestleMania is still 2 months away. A lot can happen in 2 months. All we have is what we saw at the end of SmackDown tonight. So it's possible that they will throw another curveball our way. And maybe in the end, things will make sense. Maybe in the end, it'll all fall into place where it belongs. But the way it looks right now coming out of SmackDown tonight, we are likely getting the two part-timers one-on-one in the WrestleMania main event this year. And, you know, you have the WWE Championship is in play here. This is a match that, as I've said countless times before, does not need to be for a championship. And if they do the match and it's non-title, that's even worse because you're not going to not have the WWE title defended at WrestleMania. But this is a match that doesn't need a championship. Nor does Rock need to be wrestling for one, nor does Rock need to hold one ever again. This is a match about the head of the table, the tribal chief, right? Who's number one in that family. If you're going to tell that story, that's the only story you need to tell there. It doesn't need to be for a championship, which is why I said, if they're going to do Rock and Roman at some point, cool. But you get that title away from Roman Reigns because it is not necessary, and you do the match strictly as a special attraction. As things stand right now at this moment, as I am streaming live, it does not look like that is going to be the case. And Roman Reigns is going to go into WrestleMania as the undisputed WWE champion. And I ask the question, why? Why? What sense does that make? Why is that necessary? So they're going to get their headlines. They've already sold out, or virtually sold out, both nights of WrestleMania. So at this point, it's not even about selling tickets. Boy, they're going to sell out. They've already basically sold out. It's not even about that. They'll have their highest ever Peacock viewership, I'm sure. They'll make headlines all over the world, right? They get Rock now to go out there and do press for the show. It's going to be big for them. And it'll be a nice temporary distraction from the very real problems that this company is about to face. You think the last week or so has been bad for WWE? You ain't seen nothing yet. Just based off the news that came out today, this company is in for a rude awakening. So this will be a nice little distraction for a while. They can claim, oh, Rock is coming back. He's going to wrestle his first match in however many years it's been. It's been a long time since we've seen Rock in an actual match. You'd have to go all the way back to WrestleMania the last time against John Cena. Okay, not counting the 6-second bullshit there with Eric Rowan. It's been a long time since we've seen The Rock in the ring. So they can get a lot of mileage out of this, and they can get a nice little distraction. All their problems, though, are not going to be going away anytime soon. And they'll have something to celebrate in the meantime, but make no mistake about it, they did Cody Rhodes dirty tonight, is what they did. He can go out there and he could put a nice smile on. He's like the John Cena now of WWE. Doesn't matter what you do to this guy. He'll go out there, he'll have a smile on his face, right? He's a great representative for the company. He's everything that they want in a top guy and all the stuff he does. He's very fan-friendly and all that shit. So he's out there with a smile on his face, but you know, I don't know when they sprung this news on him. I can't imagine that they told him weeks ago. This probably all came about very quickly. I can only imagine what was going through his head when they said, yeah, you know, about that WrestleMania main event, we're going to go in a different direction this year. We're going to give it to Dwayne. And I'm reminded of something that Cody said that John Cena told him after WrestleMania last year. They had a conversation at some point, and I forgot where he said it, but Cody made a comment, something to the effect of John Cena just told him, based on what happened in last year's WrestleMania main event. Because you know it had to bum Cody out on some level. I mean, it's all kayfabe and everything. I mean, look, he's still in a great spot, right? He's featured, he's probably making great money, but you know on some level he was bummed to have his family and -1 and everybody else in the stadium last year and to fall short. And I think it was John Cena who told him, look, you just got to go out there for however long it takes and be the champion without the belt. And Cody's been doing that for the past year. And the way things look right now, based on tonight, he may be doing that for a while yet. Because even if he gets Seth Rollins at WrestleMania, no guarantee he's going to win the World Heavyweight title. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. But Roman Reigns in that final segment tonight was out there burying Seth Rollins in the World Heavyweight title. He called him little brother. And he said that, wait, isn't that the belt that is fought for by all the people that I've already beaten? Now, I don't know that Roman's ever actually beat Seth, but he's not wrong. Not wrong when he says that, right? There's plenty of people in this company right now who have wrestled for that World Heavyweight title ever since Seth Rollins has won it, Drew McIntyre being one of those men, who have been defeated and beaten and thrown to the side by Roman Reigns. It's like the Roman Reigns scraps. And he's out there burying Seth Rollins and this fucking belt. Calling it, a second-rate belt and telling Cody Rhodes, well, you can wrestle basically for number 2, or you can come for the king, basically, and wrestle for the real title. You can wrestle for the WWE Championship. And what Cody did tonight on the show, what they had him do, by stepping aside willingly, voluntarily for The Rock, after he just won the Royal Rumble, and he just spent 5 minutes on this show tonight telling us, I want that belt. That's the belt that I want. That's the belt that means something to me. That's the one that I want. After all of that he would willingly step aside. I would love to know what Rock promised him, supposedly in this promo. Did Rock promise him a role in his next movie or something? What did he promise Cody Rhodes here? Is he going to be the new Scorpion King? Like, what did he promise him? He willingly stepped aside. They made Cody Rhodes look like a fucking imbecile tonight by willingly stepping aside 2 months before WrestleMania and sacrificing a shot at the belt that he wants so bad he has not shut up about it. Ever since he came back to the company from the night after WrestleMania 38, we have heard about the story, right? He hasn't shut up about it, and he willingly steps aside. The other thing that this promo did, it reinforced everything that Roman Reigns had to say in that promo. About the World Heavyweight title, being second rate, being second fiddle, little brother. The Rock came out tonight and Cody Rhodes played little brother to The Rock. And no matter what they have him doing now at WrestleMania this year, main event night 1, cool. Little brother versus little brother. That's all it's going to be. Roman Reigns confirmed what we already knew about that world title. It just hits a little bit differently to have your top star go out on live television and reinforce the point and tell everybody what you already know. And that's exactly what they did tonight. This is your SmackDown review for February 2nd, Groundhog Day, 2024. I didn't even see if the fucking groundhog saw his shadow today. I bet you if the groundhog had popped his head out to watch this show, he's going to burrow it back in the ground. We won't see him again for another year. Even the groundhog is in the ground saying, oh my God, another year of fucking call Roman Reigns. The groundhog doesn't want to be bothered. I don't blame him. There are a lot of other things happening on the show tonight, too. There's a lot of talent that's being fought after between the two general managers, Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis. We have some NXT talent, including Braun Breaker, who's a free agent right now, going to one show or the other. We don't know which. Tiffany Stratton officially signed with SmackDown. A lot of exciting things going on. Overshadowed by all of this, of course. But a lot of exciting things going on. One other thing I want to mention here before we get into this, and we'll talk more about this whole situation. I want to just say rest in peace to Carl Weathers. If you didn't see the news, Carl Weathers, actor, passed away. We just saw him tonight during SmackDown. He was in the FanDuel kick commercial with Gronkowski. I think John Cena was in the commercial too. There he was, right there on my television screen. But Rocky, Predator, Happy Gilmore, I know he was in The Mandalorian as well. Very bummed to hear about his passing, so rest in peace to Carl Weathers. Do me a favor here. I will unpause the Super Chats because I know a bunch of them are going to come in now. You can send a Super Chat if you want to. I'm sure you guys have a lot to say about this fucking show tonight. So we will talk about this And I will get to your messages a little bit later. You'll see them popping up on screen. Hit that like button as well. Even if you didn't like SmackDown, if you didn't like the ending of SmackDown tonight, hit the like button here anyway on this stream. And hit that subscribe button as well. We hit 77,000 on Monday, so thank you for that. Kevin Patrick is gone. We don't have to listen to Kevin Patrick anymore because they fired the guy. He's no longer the lead announcer on SmackDown. Michael Cole and Pat McAfee are the new broadcast team on Raw on Monday nights. Michael Cole is no longer with Wade Barrett, which was a bummer because I thought they were a good pairing. Wade Barrett is now on SmackDown. And the new SmackDown announce team, for the time being anyway, Corey Graves, has been made the lead announcer. Now, I don't know if this is temporary until they find somebody from outside the company to bring in and fill that role. I thought he did a good job tonight. Hey, Fahad, thank you. Thank you for the Gunther bomb, Fahad. I appreciate that. I thought he did fine tonight, but it is possible they could be looking to someone outside the company. It was a little weird because, you know, Graves tends to be more of a heelish announcer, and so does Wade Barrett. So it was kind of like we had two heel announcers on the show tonight. But I thought they did fine. They showed Roman Reigns and the Bloodline.
Monster, a Punk hater. Why does he hate Punk so much? What did he ever do to him?
Thank you, brother. They showed Roman Reigns and the Bloodline arriving to the arena earlier today. And then they showed Damage Control and Bayley as they were walking into the empty arena earlier today to look out. Cody Rhodes and Pharaoh the dog. They showed them arriving to the building. I wonder if The Rock put the knife in the dog, too, while he was there. Still your United States champion. Austin Theory against Kevin Owens was our first match. But before we get to that, Logan Paul came out to the ring for a promo. He is still, as I said, the United States champion. He said he underestimated Kevin Owens. At first, he said he still looks like a pissed-off donut, but he gave him credit for doing more damage to him than Floyd Mayweather did. He said he made Logan bleed, and he nearly knocked him out. And yet, Owens still lost. And he is still the United States champion. He said he is one of the toughest people on this very brittle roster. And he made fun of all the people who are hurt right now. He said, "Boo, I hurt my tricep. I got a boo-boo on my knee." It is ridiculous how many people are out hurt right now with torn ACLs. I saw Danny Palmer, who's a talent on the NXT roster. She just had double hip surgery. Was she like in her early 20s? So she's all laid up now for God knows how long. She just had a double hip operation. Apparently the first one went well. I don't know if she had the second one yet. We have Punk with the torn triceps. Bruce Pritchard is out with a torn triceps. If I'm Bruce, I'm hiding out as long as possible. So I don't know what's going on. Charlotte Flair's out with a torn ACL. So he was making fun of the very brittle roster here. He says, "We all get hurt. Everybody except me. The beast from the East, the best from the West. I'm unbreakable, one of one. I am your United States champion, Logan Paul." So the beast from the East was interrupted by Kevin Owens. And Owens said that he forgot to add unbearable idiot to the list of names he just gave. He called the Royal Rumble a moral victory for him because even though he didn't win the title, he got to knock the hell out of Logan Paul. But now he says he's ready to restore a level of prestige and honor to that belt so he can get it off of him and get it sanitized as soon as possible. Logan said it's too bad that Owens didn't take advantage of his one and only shot at the U.S. title. The brass knuckles was a setup. He outsmarted him. Owens admitted, "Yeah, I got caught." And he realizes that everybody was mad at the referee for that, but he put over the referee. He said, "Good job. You did the right thing." He goes, "Fantastic job by the referee." He goes, "I got caught. And that's my fault. But the next time we get in the ring," he says, he doesn't need brass knuckles to beat his dumbass. So he got up in Logan's face. Logan told him to back up because he smells. Owens says that he bathed in Prime before he came out there. Have anybody had Prime? I haven't tried Prime yet.
I think you rock.
Amazon Prime, but not Logan Paul's Prime.
Rock, you rock. And I just wanted you to know that.
Hey, Aaron, who has been killing it all week long. Aaron just dropped the $100 bomb. So, Aaron, thank you very much, man. You have been the king of the week here on the channel. I very much appreciate it. But yeah, I have not tried Logan Paul's Prime drink. I don't know how good it is or isn't. But Owen said he bathed in it. And Logan told him, look, it's over. All right? You're done. You're not getting a rematch. You blew it. He told him to focus on your match with Austin Theory. I'm going to go outside here and I'm going to do commentary for this next match. And find myself a real challenger. So, the finish of the Royal Rumble match clearly was set up for a rematch between these two. So it has to be coming at Elimination Chamber. Logan Paul against Kevin Owens is the Elimination Chamber match, not the WrestleMania match. That should be reserved for LA Knight. So they will do Owens and Logan Paul, most likely at the Elimination Chamber. Nick Aldis will make the announcement next week on the show who his next challenger is going to be. So we'll find out then. But we had Kevin Owens against Austin Theory here, coming out of a break. On the other half of the match, Owens worked out of a chin lock. He clotheslined the hell out of this guy to slow things down. Owens hit a tornado DDT before going up top. Hit a swanton bomb for a 2 count. Owens went for a stunner. Theory countered with a somersault blockbuster. So Theory went for a superplex. Owens, though, fought out of it, and Theory hit a version of a Blue Thunder Bomb, got a near fall out of that. Grayson Waller is there. And Grayson Waller is running distraction outside. Logan Paul, meanwhile, he gets up from the announce desk, and he moseys on over to Austin Theory, and he passes him a pair of brass knucks. This time, though, Kevin Owens, he gets his hands on the brass knucks, and as the referee was then distracted by Logan Paul, Owens knocked the hell out of Grayson Waller on the apron with them, and then he knocked the hell out of Austin Theory with the brass knucks. And then it looked like he tucked him maybe into his knee pad to hide them before the referee could see him. He covered him, and he picked up the win. And when the match was over, Owens chased Theory through the crowd. Hey, the Juliet, thank you. Not even Brie mode is going to shake me tonight. I am in rare form, but thank you for that. It was solid stuff here between these two in the ring. I feel like we've seen this between them a bunch of times already. The thing with Austin Theory is I've never said anything bad about his ring work. If anything, I think I've always been very complimentary of his ring work, even going back to NXT. It's a solid hand in the ring. There's just nothing there character-wise right now. It's just he's completely devoid of anything interesting, anything exciting, not being given a chance really to show too much personality. I don't know if the ultimate goal here is for him to go babyface and then maybe feud with Waller or even feud with Logan Paul, if that might be the direction they eventually go in. But it's not going to work unless they give the fans a reason to care about this guy or something to hang their hat on, something interesting or entertaining about him. I don't know what that would be. We haven't seen it yet. But if that's the goal, then they haven't done it yet. I hope you enjoy it. This might be the only time Cody gets to finish his story is here on YouTube. You won't be hearing that at the end of WrestleMania this year. Hey, ABK, thank you for the bomb. Thank you for the big bomb, man. I missed you the last few streams. It's good to hear from you. So, backstage, Naomi came out of Nick Aldis's office, and in her hand, she had a SmackDown contract. And she was very excited, and with her in the area, standing right outside the office, she was celebrating with Bianca Belair. Shotzi was there, Mia Yim was there. She said that she is officially signed to SmackDown, but then out from Nick Aldis's office came Tiffany Stratton from NXT. And she too had a contract in her hand. She said that she has also signed with SmackDown. And she told the other ladies that she was the center of the universe. She wanted them to applaud. And as they mocked her, she hauled off and she smacked Mia Yim, Michin, right across the face, hard. And then she walked away. And Michin went to go for her. She had to be restrained. Nick Aldis came out of his office. She wanted a match with Tiffany later on, and so Aldis gave her what she wanted. Now, Stratton was said, coming out of the Royal Rumble, it was said, I saw the reports, that Tiffany Stratton impressed a lot of people. She's been impressing me for months. And so in the Rumble, I thought she was fine. I thought she did good. In fact, I think when she first came to the ring for the Rumble, I think the first thing she did was climb to the top. She wiped everybody out with a crossbody. I liked the spot where she was hanging on to Bianca's braid, trying not to be eliminated there towards the end. Tiffany Stratton is the real deal. Tiffany Stratton is a future women's world champion. She's going to be up there in that rarefied air in this women's division with Charlotte and Bianca and Becky and people like that. You give it a few years, she'll get there. So I'm very happy, because she's been ready for a while. I was very happy to see that she was being called up. Now, I wonder, has Bianca Belair found her opponent for WrestleMania? Could that be the match for Bianca? Because it looks like Bianca, for the first time in her career, will not be involved in at least a singles championship match at WrestleMania. I still think there's a chance, depending on where Jade ends up, we could get Bianca and Jade as a team challenging for the women's tag team titles. But I do wonder if we might get a match between Bianca and Tiffany Stratton at WrestleMania this year. But in lieu of this, in lieu of Tiffany Stratton coming to the Blue brand, I went to check exactly what the current women's roster looks like for SmackDown. And this is what it looks like. You've got Io Sky at the top of the division. She is the reigning WWE Women's Champion. You've got Asuka. You've got Kairi Sane. You've got Bayley. We'll get to her in a little bit. Dakota Kai, who was not on the show tonight, but she should be back in the next few months from her ACL injury. Charlotte Flair, Bianca Belair, Naomi, Tiffany Stratton, Alba Fire, Isla Dawn, Michin, Shotzi, Zelina Vega, Elektra Lopez was just called up from NXT, B-Fab, and Scarlett. And B-Fab and Scarlett, they were on the show later as well, though we really haven't seen them wrestle on the show. But you look, I mean, there's a lot of talent in that division. Now, if they're going to do a draft in a few months, I don't know how different that may look. Charlotte Flair, when she eventually comes back from her ACL injury, she'll probably end up wherever Andrade is. Right now, Andrade is on Raw. Charlotte may come back and not be on SmackDown. We don't know. But I do wonder, Jade Cargill was on the show later on, and they did a tease. She is also looking to be signed by Raw or SmackDown. She could also very well end up on SmackDown. But I do wonder with someone like Tiffany going to the Blue brand, if we may see Jade end up on Raw. I also wonder about Roxanne Perez. She was another NXT talent like Tiffany, who popped up in the Women's Royal Rumble on Saturday, and I thought she looked fine. Roxanne, a former NXT Women's Champion. I believe she's wrestling Lyra Valkyria at Vengeance Day this weekend. Might she end up on Monday Night Raw? I think she may end up on Raw. We may see, coming out of the show this weekend, this Sunday, we may see Roxanne end up on Raw. But that's a pretty stacked division. Now, there are some people there at the bottom of the list that I read off who are just not featured that much, or we haven't seen much of them in the ring, or they're not quite as good or as advanced as some of the other people I mentioned. But there's a lot of talent on that roster. Now the question is, what does the Raw women's roster look like? Who do you add to the Raw women's roster? Because they could use a couple of fresh names too. Backstage, Bianca spoke with Nick Aldis, and she wanted to know, what is she going to have to do to get a match with Io Sky for the WWE Women's title? Assuming, she said, that Bayley chooses Rhea Ripley to challenge at WrestleMania. Logan Paul walked in, and he blew Bianca off, and she kept telling him, look, we're having a conversation here. And he was very dismissive of her and said that he was a big fan of her husband, which didn't go over very well with her. But he wanted to know, who is the next challenger for my U.S. title? And so they kind of bickered back and forth, and that was the entire thing. After this, they pitched it to a pre-produced vignette. This is like something you would see out of NXT that was probably produced by Jeremy Borash. We've already started to see some of these on SmackDown recently. We saw a segment like this with Tyler Bate and Butch several weeks ago before he became Pete Dunne again, right? Yes. Hallelujah. Pete Dunne is back. So we got a very NXT-esque vignette here. This is from earlier today with Legado del Fantasma. And they were gathered around a dinner table in a restaurant somewhere. Santos Escobar told Angel and Humberto and Elektra Lopez, who was with them. I didn't review SmackDown last week. I was in Florida doing other things for Rumble weekend. I watched parts of SmackDown. I didn't review it, though, so if you missed it, Elektra Lopez made her main roster debut last week, so now she is with them. Escobar told them that they were tasked with carrying on the legacy of their ancestors and Lucha Libre itself, and to do that, they needed to eliminate Rey Mysterio and the LWO. Rey Mysterio still is not back yet, by the way. He also welcomed back La Madrina, Elektra Lopez, and she said, "I never left." And they all toasted each other. Now, back live, we had a Fatal 4-Way match. We were told this is the first of 2 Fatal 4-Way tag matches that we are getting. There will be another one on Raw Monday night. And the winner of this one is going to wrestle the winners of the Fatal 4-Way coming up on Monday. The winner of that match will challenge the Judgment Day at Elimination Chamber for the undisputed tag team titles. It's one of our new super chats there. Hey, Rodimus, thank you. That was the song that played in my head when The Rock came out and Cody was staring at The Rock. That's the song that was probably going through Cody's mind. The Mario death theme. That was the death of his dream. His dream of headlining WrestleMania this year and finishing the story. You know, not to beat a dead horse here, but so not even 2 weeks ago, that Cody went on his Instagram and he just posted a photo of the Rocky statue. He was so determined. Yes, exactly. He was so determined to finish this story. I'm telling you, he got this news late. I don't think he would have been tweeting that or Instagramming that shit if he knew the way this was going to end up. So anyway, they did not announce who was going to be in the other Fatal 4-Way on Raw coming up this Monday. I would imagine DIY, who just got beat this past week. They'll probably be in the Fatal 4-Way. But the winners of tonight's match, who was it? Well, let me tell you who was in it first. We had Pretty Deadly. They were in there. Joaquin Wilde and Cruz del Toro of the LWO. Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate. And we had Angel and Humberto, who had La Madrina, the godmother, Elektra Lopez in their corner. Joaquin Wilde, he repeated the slingshot splash spot that they did in NXT last month, which looked incredible. I mean, that is a fucking highlight reel spot. This was not as good, or at least they didn't shoot it as well. I wish they had that camera angle. They had that one camera angle when they did it in NXT that looked so great. And they didn't have that camera angle here, but they did the spot. It still looked good. He wiped out all the heels. After a commercial break, Elton Prince was working over Joaquin. Eventually, Dunn got the hot tag. He took out both Legado and Pretty Deadly with a series of enziguris. Pretty Deadly came back. They took down Pete Dunne. Tyler Bate broke up a pin attempt, and Bate then spun Prince in an airplane spin. Del Toro and Wilde, they were about to fly. Elektra Lopez, though, stopped them. Zelina Vega then attacked Lopez. And Pete Dunne did the finger spot on Kit Wilson. Bate tagged in, and the two of them hit their double team underhook suplex finish to pick up the win. And that was the correct outcome. Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate going over here was the right move. Without even knowing who is in the 4-way match coming up this Monday, and again, I'm sure DIY will be one of those teams. I would like to see Bate and Dunne get the shot and go on to Australia and challenge for the undisputed tag team titles. They probably won't win. I don't think they're going to want them to drop the belts. Well, look, I shouldn't say that, because if they wanted to set up for Finn Balor and Damian Priest in a match against each other at WrestleMania, they could drop the belts at Elimination Chamber. I just don't know they're going to drop them to Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate. I would still rather it be DIY. Maybe you do it at WrestleMania. I'm not expecting a title change there, but I would still love to see these two guys, British Strong Style, be the ones to get the shot at the Elimination Chamber. And it just makes sense anyway, because LWO and Legado, they're in a program right now. They're feuding with each other. So they sort of cancel each other out. And so it was either going to be Pretty Deadly or it was going to be Dunne and Bate. And so, of course, Dunne and Bate, they're a new team. You got to get them over. So it made sense. Now to the back, we had Io Sky, Asuka, and Kairi Sane. They were alone in their locker room, and they were laughing it up. They were talking in Japanese to each other. And then Io told them, "Bayley's done tonight." And they walked off. And as they walked away laughing, you could see in the background, standing in the doorway, she overheard everything. Or at least that last line from Io was Bayley. And she had a very sad look on her face. And so there it is, right? You knew what was coming. You knew what was about to happen. Coming up next, we had Mike Rome in the ring with Adam Pearce to his right. He had Nick Aldis to his left. And that brought Damage Control to the ring, including Bayley, because it was time for Bayley to make her decision. She was the winner of the 2024 Women's Royal Rumble, which means she gets to pick the champion of her choosing to challenge at WrestleMania 40. Who would it be? Rhea Ripley was there. She was in the back. They showed her watching on a monitor. Dakota Kai, like I said, not on the show tonight. I don't know where she was, but she wasn't there. So the crowd was chanting for Bayley. She said she's done everything in WWE, almost, but this year is different. This year is special. And she said that she didn't get to where she is on her own because she had her girls. And she said they supported her when she cried. She called Damage Control the best women's faction of all time. I mean, what would the other choice really be? I mean, forget international promotions. Forget that for a second. In WWE specifically, what would the other choice be? I mean, the Horsewomen were never really a faction, so I don't count them. I mean, if not Damage Control, who am I missing here? Who am I forgetting that you would consider to be the best female faction in company history? I don't know. Not that I think Damage Control has had this amazing run, because I wouldn't. Amazing is not a word I would use for it. But just off the top of my head, I'm not sure who else it would be. So when she made that comment about Damage Control being the best female faction of all time, you can see Io and Asuka and Kairi in the background. They were cackling, but then they stopped when Bayley turned around to look behind her. She said when she thinks about WrestleMania, she thinks about beating one of the best. And that brings her to Rhea Ripley. And Bayley continued and she said, but sometimes WrestleMania is about proving people wrong. And sometimes the people who you thought were a support system were working against you all along. And then she called out Io Sky. And she asked her, she said, what happened? She said a few words in Japanese, which shocked Io and Kairi and Asuka. They were blown away by that. So whatever it was that I don't know what she said, but she said something in Japanese. And then she said, are you done laughing? She said she picked up some of that along the way by hanging out with them. She says she's been here for a very long time and she sees everything around her, including them talking behind her back. She said all she ever wanted was the best for them. And she wanted to go to WrestleMania to be the best together. Now, as she's talking to Io, you see Kairi and Asuka, they have now moved in a position where they are now behind Bayley. So, again, you can see it coming, right? You know exactly what's about to go down here. And so, sure enough, Asuka and Kairi, they attack Bayley from behind. Io joins in on the attack. Now, Bayley is laying face down on the mat. I couldn't tell. I guess she had it on her person. But she had a pipe when she stood up. She had a pipe in her hand. So she was concealing it the entire time because she knew. And she was prepared for it. And so she fought off Kairi and Asuka with the pipe. And then she held the pipe up and she stopped herself before hitting Io. Io had the belt. And she stopped herself from hitting her with the pipe. Eventually, Io left the ring. Bayley picked the microphone back up and said that she would see her at WrestleMania. And the fans popped huge for that announcement. It is now official. Bayley will challenge Io Sky for the WWE Women's Championship at WrestleMania. I thought this was very well done. Even though we have been seeing this coming for so long. And I thought the Damage Control split was originally going to come months ago. And then they just kept it going. So it's a little weird for me to sit here and say that this felt rushed in any way. It did feel rushed to me because I thought they were going to drag this out a little bit longer. Maybe until Elimination Chamber or right after Elimination Chamber. And so I didn't expect this angle to be shot tonight on tonight's show. So it felt a little rushed in that regard. I also thought it was a little strange how in that backstage segment, you know, Io and the three of them were so open about saying Bayley's done tonight. I mean, they've been doing a good job of sort of concealing their I don't know if disgust is the right word, but their disgust for Bayley. And then Dakota was always there to translate and say, no, everything's cool, everything's cool. And here it was just like, they spoiled it, and they just had them in the back saying, all right, Bayley's done tonight. And you think about it, and it's like, well, why wouldn't they wait if they were assuming that she was going to pick Rhea Ripley to challenge for the women's world title at WrestleMania? And Io wouldn't have to wrestle Bayley. Why wouldn't they just wait, for Bayley to make her choice? But this is the angle they went with. I still think it was well done. I love the little reveal when Bayley started saying some stuff in Japanese, and that shocked them. I thought that was cool. The thing I really liked about that aspect of it is that Bayley now is a babyface, right? And I like the fact that they didn't portray her as a dumb babyface. Like she was completely oblivious to everything that's been going on around her, because it would have made her look like an idiot because everybody else can see what's going on except her. She was aware of it. So I actually think that they made her look even better in this instance because she saw it coming. She had the pipe. She was prepared for it. And so I thought that did her some good by portraying her in that light. And look, she's been a heel long enough. It's going to be 5 years. Later this year would be 5 years that Bayley would have been a heel. That's a long time. And you saw the reaction that she got at the Royal Rumble when she won. I mean, I was there. I'll tell you right now, because I know some people watched that show and said, man, the crowd was dead the whole time. The crowd was dead for the men's Rumble. They didn't really give a shit about that, but they were very much alive for the women's Rumble. And when Bayley knocked Liv Morgan out of the ring, everybody popped huge. And they were cheering for her and chanting for her. And I think people, even though she's supposed to be a heel, I think people appreciate her in a way that, it hasn't really been expressed over the years all that much, that Bayley is very good and never really got her flowers in the way that Charlotte and Sasha and Becky have all gotten their flowers over the years. They've also had big moments on the main roster. Charlotte, has won 3,700 titles. Sasha got to main event of WrestleMania with Bianca, and she's also won a bunch of championships. Becky got to main event with Charlotte, the very first women's WrestleMania main event, and got that big run back in 2018 into 2019 and has won multiple titles and had big moments. And Bayley never really had a big main roster moment. I would always go back to the Brooklyn match with Sasha Banks. That was in 2015. Dude, it's 2024. We're going on almost a decade. It's about time this woman got a moment for herself. That was the Royal Rumble. She won 63 minutes. She won the Rumble. Now she's going to get another big moment. She gets to go to WrestleMania as a babyface and challenge for the title. And I assume she's going to win the championship. And I'm happy for her. It's been a long time coming. She had that injury as well. I think it was ACL, right? I think it was an ACL injury. And so she was out for a long time. She fought for damage control. Vince McMahon, didn't care for it, didn't want to do it. The moment he went out the first time, Triple H took over. We saw the debut of Damage Control. So this moment has been a long time coming for her. And again, Io Sky's another one. I'm happy for Io. Io gets to go into WrestleMania in a singles match as the defending champion. There was a period of time just a few months ago where I didn't think that was going to be the case. I was convinced that the title match at WrestleMania was going to, in some way, involve Bianca and or Charlotte. Because those two are always in a title match at WrestleMania. Every single WrestleMania match those two have ever had. And Charlotte has had more of them than Bianca. They've all been title matches. And so I thought, well, that's probably the direction we're going in. But they kept the belt on Io. This is a story that's been playing out for a while. Io gets to walk into WrestleMania as the defending champion. So I'm looking forward to that match. Now, we were supposed to have a 6-man tag. I say supposed to because we never actually got it. But we were supposed to have a 6-man tag with Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits against the Final Testament, which is Karrion Kross and AOP. When Bobby and the Prophets walked out, they put their fist in the air. Like the Nation of Domination. And I know that's not a Nation of Domination thing. I know that's been a thing for decades. But I'm just saying. The Nation of Domination co-opted that when they were a thing many years ago in WWE. That was their thing. They would come out. They would pump their fist in the air. So that's what they did when they came out. The bell never rang. Before all 6 of these guys, they got into a whole brawl. Things broke down. Cross and Lashley ended up alone in the ring. Lashley dropped him with a spine buster. And the Judgment Day interrupts. JD Films with the $32 Judgment Day interruption. It's been a while since they've interrupted. So he puts the Hurt Lock on Karrion Kross, and Scarlett jumps on Bobby's back. So she ultimately is able to help break up the move because he releases the hold. And then B-Fab shows up. B-Fab has been flirting with Bobby now for several weeks. We've seen her pop up in various backstage segments, and they would go off talking. We don't know where. We don't know whether it was to talk or who knows. So now B-Fab shows up. She's wearing this like gold outfit, which kind of matches what Bobby and the Prophets are wearing. And she drops Scarlett with a kick. And so B-Fab, I guess now, is officially part of this new, whatever they're calling themselves. I thought they were calling themselves the Pride. I know Lashley had put that in his Twitter bio. They haven't mentioned that name once on television, so I don't know what the fuck their name is or is going to be. But B-Fab now is going to be part of the faction with them. And that was it. They played their music. The heels were on the outside, looking up at the baby faces. The baby faces were looking down at the heels, and they played them off. This was a waste of time. They did this to introduce B-Fab as a new member of the crew, but this was a waste of time. These guys, when I say these guys, I mean Kross. That's really what I mean. Kross and AOP, they desperately need to get in the ring for an actual match and get a win. Get that first win under their belt. Because they have no credibility yet. We have yet to see them in action. We have yet to see them racking up wins. This just ended. We'll get the match at some point. But they desperately need to start racking up some wins. Even after this one segment, I still can't help but feel like this thing is going to be a bust. You know, for Kross's sake, I hope that's not the case. You know, it would be nice to see him actually do something and find some success with it here on the main roster. You know, he had some success in NXT, but his first run, this run, he has not had any success on the main roster. He needs to hope that this is finally going to be the payoff for him. So far, this is not very encouraging. So whatever this was supposed to be, maybe they ran low on time. I don't know, but this was a waste of time. Now, Braun Breaker was shown in the back with Nick Aldis, and he was looking over a SmackDown contract. And Adam Pearce walked in. He told him that you might want to hold off on signing that. I may have an offer for you on Raw this Monday night. So Breaker told Aldis, I'm going to take this with me. I'm going to hold off on signing it. I'm going to take it with me. And he told Adam Pearce, I'll see you on Monday. And he walked out. Now, Raw got Andrade. If you didn't see it on Monday night, Andrade has officially signed a Monday Night Raw contract. I assumed because Raw got Andrade that Braun was going to go to SmackDown. I still feel like SmackDown would be the better landing spot for him. Especially if he's a babyface, I feel like there's going to be more people and good people for him to work with on this show. But I also believe that he took Brock Lesnar's spot in the Royal Rumble. Even before it was all being reported by all these websites this week, I said it the night that I did my Rumble review. As soon as I got home from the stadium, I said, the Pat McAfee thing, that was not the Brock Lesnar spot. Braun Breaker was the Brock Lesnar spot. I'd bet anything on that. And so if he got Brock's spot in the Rumble, it's possible that he's going to get Brock's spot at WrestleMania. And the WrestleMania spot for Brock was probably going to be against Gunther for the Intercontinental title. Well, Brock is done. Brock is toxic. Brock is persona non grata now in WWE. So he's off the WrestleMania card. That leaves Gunther without any obvious opponent. Well, I mean, there's any number of people you could put him in the ring with. You could have done Gunther and Rollins. You could also get back to the story with Gunther and Chad Gable. I'm just saying, the story is right there if they wanted to go back to it. But if they want to slot Braun Breaker in there and have Braun Breaker be the first man to hand Gunther a loss on the main roster and win the Intercontinental title, that could be another direction. They can make a star in one night. I am still not totally sold on that, just because I feel like it might be too much too soon. And you run the risk of there being some blowback on that. But it might be a risk worth taking. It's not like they haven't done stuff like this before. I mean, when the Honky Tonk Man lost his Intercontinental title at SummerSlam, he lost it in 28 seconds, I think, to the Ultimate Warrior. And they made a star in one night. Right? It's a match and a win that's still talked about to this day. Madison Square Garden win nuts. You could make a star in one night, and you could play into their history together, because the last person to pin Gunther was Braun Breaker. He beat him in Gunther's last match in NXT. If they want to draw from that history, they can certainly do so. So that's what makes me think Braun may well end up signing with Monday Night Raw if they want him to take Brock's spot. But I'm just glad the guy is main roster bound. You know, even more so than Tiffany, he has just been meandering around. They have him in this Dusty Classic teaming with Baron Corbin. It's just like he's been ready for a while and just sort of stuck in limbo or purgatory almost. He's gone as far as he can go in NXT. I would have preferred he get called up as a heel, and then eventually the fans are going to naturally turn him babyface anyway. Based on how he was used at the Rumble, it looks like, and even tonight, it looks like he may be coming up as a babyface. But as Braun Breaker walked out, Jade Cargill walked in, and she said that Aldis wanted to see her. And Aldis, at that point, dismissed Adam Pearce and kicked him out. And that was the last that we saw of Jade Cargill. But obviously, we'll be seeing a lot more of her because they're going to be calling her up.
It's Samoa BRO.
That much is clear. Hey, Michael, thank you for the Samoa BRO. Thank you for the 1999. And thank you all for all the super chats are just coming in like crazy. And again, I'm going to be reading all of your messages, so get them on in, and we'll go through that here in a little bit. But we had Tiffany Stratton in her SmackDown in-ring debut one-on-one with Michin. Michin hit a gut-wrench suplex and followed that up with a vertical suplex. The action spilled outside. Tiffany took control. She face-planted Mia Yim. They went to a break. After the break, Stratton had control. Michin fired up, hit a series of drop kicks and a neck breaker. And then she hit the double knees to the face. And then at the very last second, Tiffany got her foot on the bottom rope to break up the pin. Michin went for eat defeat. Stratton, though, countered with an Alabama slam. Got a good near fall out of that. Michin came back with some kicks. Stratton, though, lifted her up, ran forward, slammed her, right? We've seen her do this before. And then she hit. I say she mostly missed it. When I say hit, when I say hit, she didn't really hit as much of it as she would have liked. Michin was a little too far forward. She wasn't positioned exactly where she needed to be. But Tiffany went up, and she hit the prettiest moonsault ever and got the pin to win her first match here on SmackDown. Best moonsault in the business right now is Tiffany Stratton. Chad Gable has a pretty cool looking moonsault too. But if I had to give the edge, it's to Tiffany Stratton. Tiffany Stratton is, she comes from an athletic background. She is very talented. She picked this up way quicker than most people do. I remember when she first debuted in NXT, you could tell how green she was. And she was playing that, you know, daddy's little girl gimmick, the rich girl gimmick. But she was very, very raw, very, very green. And in a very short period of time, she really started to pick up a lot of the fundamentals. And you would watch her matches, and it was very noticeable how much she improved. And now you watch her. And it really hit me when I was watching her at No Mercy in September when she had that Extreme Rules match with Becky Lynch. They had a hell of a match. And so that had to be a turning point for her internally in that company. I'm sure she turned a lot of heads with the performance in that match. And they've probably been getting her ready for this spot, this call-up for the last few months. It was pretty clear that she was ready for the call-up. And she's also very self-aware. Because there was a point early last year, she was interviewed on some podcast, I think, or radio show. And she said this at the time. She said she didn't want to go up to the main roster at that point because she didn't think she was ready. And she pointed out there were a few things I still have to improve on. I'm not good at this. I'm not good. I think selling was one thing. She said I got to work on my selling. So she was very self-aware of her experience level and the work that she still had to put in to get to where she needed to be. And when you have that kind of attitude, you'll go far. And so she's made a lot of strides since then. So she's a huge pickup here for the SmackDown roster. And I'm telling you, you don't have to wait very long. Within these next couple of years, she's going to be in one of these big women's title matches at WrestleMania. Maybe not the main event, but in the position that we see Io Sky now and Bayley and Rhea Ripley, Tiffany Stratton is going to be there, and it's not going to take her that long to get there. Then it was decision time for Cody Rhodes. But first, it was Roman Reigns and the Bloodline down to the ring. And Roman was serenaded by chants of Rocky, Rocky. Oh, no, wait, no. It was Cody, that's what it was. I'm sorry, I misheard. It was Cody that the fans were chanting. But first, Roman said, I'll get to him, but Birmingham, acknowledge me. I think they were just happy to see Roman Reigns on the show, since it's very rare that we get him on the television show. He said there were some things said on Monday that they just can't let slide. He says his little brother, Seth Rollins, and then he goes, as if he didn't bury him enough in this segment, he goes, little brother Seth Rollins, and then there's no reaction. He goes, exactly, no pop. He said he's got the title. So he had to think about it, Roman said. He goes, didn't he beat everybody competing for that title? He said, doesn't that make all of them their number twos? Said, shouldn't they call that the loser bracket title? He wasn't sparing this championship at all. He goes, then he had the audacity to say that he's the guy. He said, you can't be running around here for 2 years in your wife's clothes and call yourself the guy. This guy was on fire here. He goes, do workhorses walk like this? And he started walking like an old man. He started walking like Hulk Hogan without his walking stick, doing an imitation of Seth and his broken back. He goes, and then he wants to attack my schedule. He says, yes, I work less than you. I work 10 times less than you. And I still make 10 times more than you. And then he asked the audience, he goes, you want Seth Rollins money or you want Tribal Chief money? Of course, they wanted Tribal Chief money. I, too, would like Tribal Chief money, especially if I can get his schedule. He goes, but see, Cody, he's an idiot. Where's the lie? I gotta get Bobby Fish on here. Where's the lie? Roman was smoking fools here in this segment. I mean, this is the biggest work shoot I've seen on WWE television in years. Everything that he's saying, man. I mean, I'm not finding the lie in anything this man is saying here in this segment. Calls Cody an idiot. He goes, he's got values and all that crap. He don't care about the money, I don't think. So let me break it down for you. He goes, Cody, I'm not going to beg you like that other guy. You could either be the very best number 2 in this industry, or you could take a crack at number 1 again. It's your choice. Boy, you know, Roman must have walked out there, after having a couple of woo energies. I don't know, because the jabs that this guy was taking here, they were on point. I mean, he was roasting fools here in this fucking segment. So then Cody's music hits, and the idiot, Cody, makes his way out to the ring. But first, they cut to the final commercial break because they went on early with this segment. So they went to commercial here. It was probably 9:42 or something like that. So you knew we were getting at least one more commercial break. After the break, Cody gets in the ring. He goes, what do you want to talk about? And he asked if the two of them, if we could have the ring to ourselves. And so Roman sent away Paul Heyman and Solo and Jimmy, and they left the ring. And Cody told him, he goes, "You cheated me." Talking about WrestleMania last year. Says, "You cheated me. I had you. And I think you know it." Says Seth Rollins, he made a lot of amazing points this week. But he made one point that I disagree with. He called that the Hollywood title. Talking about the WWE Championship. He called that the Hollywood title. Call it whatever you want. But it's still the title that Bruno Sammartino held. It's still the title that was put into my father's hands at Madison Square Garden and was swiftly taken away. He says he still wants that title. He goes, "Let me ask you, what is finishing the story? Because I've heard you say that all of this is yours. The ring, the ropes, the canvas, that camera over there, all these people." And he looks out at the crowd and he says, all you people apparently belong to Roman Reigns. And they all booed. So, is finishing the story taking that title from you? Or is finishing the story taking everything from you? Said, "Let me make it abundantly clear. I want that title. As a matter of fact, I'm moving my own goalposts. I want that title, and I'm coming for you, Roman Reigns. But not at WrestleMania." And as soon as he said those words, I said, fuck. Because I knew exactly what was coming next. For the record, I know that the Rock stuff leaked earlier today. I know now. I know there was something that leaked earlier today. I didn't see it. I intentionally stayed away from the story on PW Insider. They had a big spoiler about a huge surprise tonight. I didn't see it. So I did not know coming into this that The Rock was supposed to be on the show tonight. Until Cody said that line right there. And then I knew exactly what the big surprise was. So he said he's not coming for Roman at WrestleMania. The man who just went to the Royal Rumble and won the Rumble for the second year in a row. Went back to back for the first time since Stone Cold Steve Austin. Even I was like, man, it would have been nice to have somebody different win the Royal Rumble. Although in hindsight, thank God CM Punk didn't win. But like, even I was like, yeah, Cody doesn't have to win the Royal Rumble. I kind of like getting a different Royal Rumble winner. Cody could win the Chamber or something like that. But they had Cody win. They went out of their way to have Cody win back-to-back. Nobody has done that in 26 years, 27 years. It earns you a title opportunity in the main event of WrestleMania. And here comes Cody Rhodes. I want that title, but not at WrestleMania. Oh, really? Do tell. And he goes, I mentioned about taking counsel. He goes, Roman, one of the individuals that I talked to, he knows you very well. And the people at that point could kind of sense what was coming. I could sense what was coming. And then, if you smell, yeah, smells like shit to me. Here comes The Rock. And everybody loses their minds because it's a special thing when Rock makes an appearance. It's a big deal. I'm not discounting that. He comes out. He's got goosebumps on his arm. Cody has to stand in the ring this entire time, by the way. As The Rock takes his time to come down to the ring and soak up the reaction and get on the ropes and pose and smell and sniff and all the stuff that he usually does. So Rock gets in the ring. And Cody is staring at The Rock. The Rock is staring at Cody. The Rock extends his hand out to Cody. Cody accepts. The Rock pulls him in for a hug. He said something to Cody. Cody ended up with a smile on it. I told you what I think he said to him earlier. Whatever he said, Cody has a smile. Again, I could just look at the man's face, and it's like the most insincere smile I've ever seen in my life. I mean, it's just amazing. So Cody smiles, and eventually Cody leaves, and The Rock turns to Roman Reigns. Roman is on the far side of the ring, and he's got his title. Rock is on the other side, the opposite side of the ring. They're staring each other down, and eventually they get closer. They step to each other. We get the face-to-face. The copyright box comes on, and that is how they go off the air. Rock, or Roman rather, calling Seth Rollins little brother. Rock coming out, little brothered Cody Rhodes. They neutered Cody Rhodes, is what they did. They tried to make him magnanimous. They tried to make him like, I'm going to get my shot. I'm going to finish my story. And look, I am sure that at some point, maybe even this year, Cody Rhodes will finish the story and he'll win the WWE Championship. Because Cody's already I'm sure Cody's already re-signed. Cody's not going anywhere. Cody is still in a great position, right? They love him. He's always going to be featured as a top guy in this company. He'll finish the story at some point. But boy, did they neuter this fucking guy here in this segment. I mean, who in their right mind, after what his character just went through, would stand in the middle of the ring 2 months out from WrestleMania 40, the 40th WrestleMania, and would willingly sacrifice his main event championship match to anyone? I don't care if it's The Rock. I don't care who it is. Who would do that? What a nice guy. So they got their mega match. All indications based on the way this show ended tonight is that this is going to be the WrestleMania, the true WrestleMania main event. And it will probably be for the WWE Championship. There's still a lot we don't know. Cody did not flat out say he's going to take Seth Rollins up on his challenge. With CM Punk going down due to injury, though, it would appear that they've made their choice, and they're going to go with Cody and Seth. Because if Cody doesn't pick Seth, I don't know what the hell they're going to do. Unless they do Cody and Roman before they do Rock and Roman. And Cody and Roman is the play in Australia at the Elimination Chamber, which is another big stadium show. Again, they'll have 50,000 people there. They could do the match there. But then if Cody wins the title, again, both title matches are automatically little brother to Rock and Roman at WrestleMania. And so do you do Cody and Orton on the undercard that night? I mean, that would seem to be the only logical thing if Cody was to win the belt later this month. We don't know. All I know is that Cody Rhodes won himself a WrestleMania main event. And what is he going to do now? He's going to cash in at the Elimination Chamber? Let's just ignore the stipulation and we'll just cash in at the Elimination Chamber instead. I mean, is that what we're doing here? Or are we getting another year of this shit? Because Rock ain't beating Roman unless it's a non-title match. If it's a non-title match where the title is off Roman, it could go either way. I still don't see the benefit in having Rock beat Roman, even if it's not for the title. If Rock is going to come back after all these years, and they're only planning on doing one match, and he's going to come back and beat his cousin, who's been on top of the company and on top of the industry now for 3.5 years, Rock has to come back and get the win? Why? I would think if Rock is willing to put anybody over, it certainly is his cousin. Rock said that when he comes back, if he ever comes back, he wants to do something that's never been done before. So I am patiently waiting now to find out if this is just a straight one-on-one, we're going to do Rock and Roman deal, or is there some element to this that I'm not seeing? Is there some element that I'm missing to this that's going to make it something that we've never seen before? That's going to make it so special. It's unprecedented. I don't know what that would be. When I heard the word unprecedented, I thought maybe they were really going to plan to do a standalone event, like a standalone pay-per-view, built around Rock and Roman as the mega match, and build kind of a card around it, and they were going to make that separate and apart from WrestleMania and anything else. But they're going to go with WrestleMania. I mean, what other logical conclusion is there to jump to? Cody said it will not be at WrestleMania, me and you. So there you go. That paves the way. That's your WrestleMania 40 main event. But they did Cody no favors. They did Seth Rollins no. If I'm Seth Rollins, by the way, he better have a damn good comeback on Raw Monday night. They better put a mic in his hand and just let him go off. Because if I'm Seth Rollins, not only am I fucking pissed that I lost my big match with CM Punk at WrestleMania, and frankly, a match with Cody may be the only way for him to redeem an actual main event on night one. That's why I've been saying Seth and Punk need each other. If their goal is to get the WrestleMania main event on one of those two nights, Punk going down due to injury, I mean, Rollins looked like he was on the outs as far as that goes. So if they slot Cody in there, yeah, you'll probably get Cody and Seth in the main event. But boy, I mean, they buried Seth They buried that belt. They bury everything that Rollins has done over the past however many months, 9, 10 months that it's been, right? Maybe not quite 10 months yet, but he's been the World Heavyweight Champion since May. And he's constantly doing interviews and he's constantly talking about how I'm trying to make this something special. I'm trying to make this the most prestigious title in this company. I'm trying to be the workhorse champion. And in one night, in one segment, it was all flushed away because everything Roman Reigns said in this segment was true. Rock coming back at the end only reinforces that Seth and Cody and everything else is just on the back burner now. Everything is just pushed to the side. It doesn't even matter. But the comments he made about little brother and I've beaten everybody that's wrestled for that belt. Again, I ask you, where's the lie? Roman Reigns was dropping truth bombs on these people tonight. So if I'm Cody, I'm pissed. If I'm Seth, I'm pissed. If I'm Punk, I'm pissed. Because he had a guaranteed ticket to the WrestleMania main event and he got hurt, so now that's fucked. It's a lot of angry people right now that should be on that WWE roster. Except Roman and The Rock. Because now they got their match at WrestleMania. Congratulations. Let's take a look at the Twitter poll, see what you guys thought of tonight's show once this gets off the screen here. And I want to say thank you to the 3,000 plus that have been with me here. 41.7% for SmackDown tonight, 58.3% thumbs down. And I'm willing to bet that a lot of that is colored by what we saw in the final 5 minutes of tonight's show. Because it was not a bad SmackDown tonight. There was a lot going on. Like I said, people being called up. There's reason to be excited about the future here on SmackDown. But this was always going to be a very divisive closing segment on this show. And for good reason. Let's see what you guys have to say about everything that's been going on so far here tonight. You guys have been very vocal. Again, I love you for it. Thank you for still hanging out with me here. Hopefully I had a chance to vent to you about certain things. I have a feeling a lot of you were in agreement with me. I know some of you aren't, but I would say probably the majority of you are in agreement with me, or at least can see things from the perspective that I'm coming from here. It's just frustrating, when you have such an obvious story. And forget Cody's story, but just such an obvious story. And you are building to your biggest show of the year, you build everything around this show, and it just feels like kind of a last-minute sabotage in many ways. You're taking the short-term gain, but what are you doing potentially to your existing story or stories in the long term? That really is the question here. The real CS. We'll kick things off with him. If Vince cared about WWE like he says he does, then he would not have done the things he allegedly did. Even with NDAs, it is going to come out eventually. Well, that is what happens when you are a selfish sociopath. You don't care about other people. You are so self-absorbed, all you care about is yourself.
Jerry Lawler loves Gunther the Magnificent. All hail Gunther.
Hey, Aaron, thank you, man, for the $50 super chat. Nick Grasso, finally, Bayley and Damage Control split up. But where was Dakota Kai and whose side is she on? They may do a whose side is she on thing with Dakota Kai. I don't know where she was. I don't know. Maybe they kept her out on purpose for that very reason, because they want to build to a story where she has to pick a side now. Luis Lopez, is Rock versus Roman a direct effect of Punk getting injured? I feel that WrestleMania has lost a lot of momentum with Punk's injury and the Vince situation. This did feel to me like the Punk injury probably played a role in this. And you're right about the Vince situation. It's a big black eye for this company. And it's not going away. It's only going to get messier. It's only going to get uglier. Doing something like this can take a little bit of the heat off to some degree because it gets people talking and excited that The Rock is coming back. They can promote this big match now. So all of those things may well have had an effect. It all boils down to when did The Rock make his final decision. I suspect we'll find out in the days to come. Did he make his decision only this week? Because that's what it felt to me like. You know? I mean, I feel like if Rock had already made his decision prior to last weekend, we would not have had Cody Rhodes pointing up at Roman Reigns at the end of the Royal Rumble. Him pointing up at Roman Reigns and making it very clear that that's the guy that he wanted. And then what we saw tonight are in direct conflict with each other, which tells me this decision was not made or finalized until sometime in the last few days. That's what that felt to me like. Azen, this comes off as trying to have their cake and eat it too. They want to give Rollins a main event, Cody a world title, Roman and Rock, and extending the reign past Hogan for some godforsaken reason. You said it, brother. The Hogan thing is something I'll never understand. I just don't understand. I just don't understand what the big deal is there. I really don't. I really don't. The idea that if in fact that is what their plan is, that you would sacrifice creatively things that are right there in front of your face to edge him up on a list of champions in a worked sport. I mean, what are we doing here? You know what I mean? Like, I just can't understand the logic behind it. I just don't. And the idea, again, that some people think, well, they're trying to erase Hogan in a way. They want him out of the top three. Nobody gives a shit about the top three. Maybe they care about number one. Number two, number three, number four, it doesn't matter. It's no less or more impressive to say that Roman Reigns is fourth all time. And by the way, let me bring up another point on that. Roman Reigns has not even had the WWE title for 1,000 days. I think he's had it for like 600 and something days. Probably about the same length of time that Gunther has had the Intercontinental title, right? I think it's maybe a little bit more than that. The WWE Championship is the lineage here. That's the lineage for Bruno and for Backlund and for Hogan. Hogan had the WWE title for like 4 years, 4.5 years. Maybe it was about 4 years. What they're doing is they're taking the Universal title. The Universal title didn't exist before 2016. Who gives a fuck about the Universal title? That's what they're going with. They're not even using the correct title lineage. They're combining them or just using the Universal one and not the WWE one, which is, again, something else that makes me laugh when I think about this. Doesn't make sense. It's meaningless. And yet people won't shut up about it. Arabian Night. This is why we can never get behind a full-time talent, because they do shit like this and bring back part-timers to take their spot. Says Triple H is a godsend, huh? Azen. I honestly don't know who takes the title from Roman. You cannot do Roman versus Cody at 41. Who's going to care? He's been going on about this fucking story for years, and right when he had it, he gives up. That's what he did. That's exactly what he did. He gave up. Imagine being a fan of his, like a real super fan, right? And you've been waiting for this moment. And then he just willingly gives it up to the man who has everything. He gives it up to the one person who needs it the least. Vanilla Gorilla, do you think Rock versus Roman was planned in advance, or did they have to switch things up in light of the Punk injury? I think they've wanted to do the match for a very long time. Do I think it was in the plans, like firmly in the plans for a while? No. I feel like this only came together probably in the past week. PB and Shane. I love that name. I haven't seen WWE drop the ball like this since Daniel Bryan in 2014. Cody being made an afterthought to two part-timers is damn near heartbreaking. Arabian Night, Rock got a huge ego. Wonder how he would feel if a past star came back in 99 or 2000 or 2001 and took a WrestleMania spot from him, like Hogan or Macho. I'm pissed. Fuck Triple H. Holiday 197, Cody is facing Rollins at WrestleMania, or if they do Cody and Roman at Elimination Chamber, who does Cody face at WrestleMania? Randy Orton? There would be little buildup. And that's another reason why I don't like that idea, because Cody and Orton is a potentially great story for a show like SummerSlam. And so if they put the belt on Cody, let's just say they put the belt on him in Australia, you've got 6 or 7 weeks now to build to Cody and Orton for WrestleMania. That's something that deserves some more time. Instead, it would just feel like they're rushing into it. So I hope they don't do that. Darricky, what do you think about doing only one Rumble a year and alternating each year between the men and the women? What do you think about Triple H's comments after the Royal Rumble? I don't like the idea of alternating. Men's and women's are here to stay, just like men's and women's Elimination Chambers and Money in the Banks and War Games. So, ideally, you would have one Rumble on the show. I do feel like having two does tire the crowd out. I think that was part of the problem last weekend, honestly. It is a lot. I don't like the idea of alternating them, though. As far as Triple H's comments after the Royal Rumble, they were about as bad as you could possibly make them. I tweeted about it. I have not had a chance to talk about it in audio form or video form. I am going to address that. I mean, let me tell you something right now. This podcast on Sunday, this is episode 847 coming up. This is not going to be a show to be missed. Okay? Just trust me. You are going to want to listen to this podcast on Sunday. We have a lot to get into. I will address the Triple H stuff as well on that show. He could not have done a worse job. Arabian Night 2000 says, well, I guess it was a fact that Punk was supposed to win the Rumble. Now they're rushing Rock versus Reigns because they want to reward Seth in main event night 1 against Cody. Yuck. I feel so bad for Cody. This is BS. I don't think it's a fact that Punk was supposed to win the Royal Rumble. I think exactly the person who was planned to win won. Punk would have gone on and won at the Chamber. Punk was never going to win the Royal Rumble. Jacob Harrison, The Rock is going to look like CM Punk in the Rumble when he has a match.
Jerry Lawler loves Gunther the Magnificent. All hail Gunther.
Hey, Aaron is coming in hot again with a $50 Gunther bomb. Aaron, man, you are the man. Thank you, sir. Just to finish off what Jacob was saying, Rock is going to look like Punk in the Rumble when he has a match. Blown up in 5 minutes and embarrassing himself in his final match. We'll see. I didn't think he looked that great in that last Cena match. And that was... my God, was that 12 years ago? No, 11 years ago. It was 11 years ago. He's 11 years older now. Tuxedo T Servo, it appears Cody's story was just retconned. Arabian Night, worst booking decision since The Fiend in 2019 Hell in a Cell. Or you could say The Fiend in Goldberg in Saudi Arabia when he got buried in the fucking desert. The Winston Slip says, whoa, Cody's story was only smoke and mirrors. Very good. Very good. That was clever. Didn't Rock tear his abdomen? Rock tore like 3 different things in that match with Cena, the last one. He tore his adductor muscle or muscles off the bone. He tore something else too. He had to have surgery. It delayed production on his movie. I don't know if it was... I don't remember what movie it was. It was Gridiron Gang. I don't remember what movie it was. But yeah, no, I mean, he got seriously hurt in that match. I think he tore his hamstring in the first Cena match. But in the second match, he completely messed himself up. Holiday 197 says, at this rate, I wonder if Cody will ever win a main title, or at the very least have fans care if he does win it. They can't defer his win to WrestleMania 41. Well, look, this is the risk that you run. Now, we don't know. Cody just said he's not going to get it at WrestleMania. Maybe he gets it at the Chamber. Okay, so I just put that out there. We don't know yet. Having said that, that is another risk that you run by doing this whole cock tease situation here with Cody, where you get people's hopes up. They were happy to see him win the Rumble. Now he's not getting the shot at the Rumble. Why? Because of reasons. And so you will eventually run into a situation, if you continue to do this, where people are going to lose interest. And he's going to become a punchline. And the one thing you do not want to do is have your top babyface, or one of your top babyfaces, become a punchline. That is not what you want. The longer they drag this out for, the bigger the risk they run of that happening. Aussie of Steel. You mean you're not excited for another year of Paul Heyman talking to his phone again? In all seriousness, this is some BS. Cody deserves better. Allie with the $3. The Rock was frozen in carbonite in 2013 and hasn't been entertaining in wrestling since 2003. Goodbye, Sportsnet. Sportsnet Plus, he says. Allie is all elite. Orhan. Who do you prefer, and who is the bigger star, RKO or CM? Who is the bigger star? I feel like that's a good question. I mean, it's tough because Punk missed he missed 7 years. And from WWE, he missed almost 10 years. And that's a long chunk of time to miss. So Orton is the bigger star. Had Punk stuck around, I might have a different opinion on that. Orton is the bigger star. Who do I prefer? It depends. I mean, I would almost say Punk on promos, maybe Orton in matches. If you could take the best elements of both and kind of merge them together. To me, it's not a black and white, cut and dry kind of thing. Mr. Notorious Chico, I don't understand why people are complaining about this story. He is still winning the gold at Mania, so relax. And do you think Jacob Fatu is going to WWE? Well, look, if he's going to WrestleMania, they did a very poor job of framing it that way tonight. Because could they do Rock Roman on one night and Roman and Cody on another? Yes, but Cody made it pretty clear tonight, I'm going to win that title from you, but it's not going to be at WrestleMania. He didn't say night 1 of WrestleMania. He didn't say night 2 of WrestleMania. He said not WrestleMania. So unless they completely go back on what they said tonight, it's not happening at WrestleMania. That much was clear. Do I think Jacob Fatu is going to WWE? I don't know. WWE could have had him years ago. They didn't take him. I think he would be a tremendous addition to that roster. If they wanted to keep the bloodline stuff going, I think he'd be an obvious addition to that. And I feel like in the ring, bell to bell, he is probably the best of the bunch when it comes to all those, all the Samoan stars. I've had an up-close view of his work, having been in House of Glory when he was the world champion there and calling his matches and seeing what he can do and seeing him in MLW. He's a tremendous talent. There are other factors at play here. Booker T talked a little bit about that on his podcast. Jacob Fatu is another one who I will talk about on the podcast on Sunday. Yusuf, this absolutely blows. Cody looks like a total geek. My brothers and I have tickets for WrestleMania. Seriously considering refunds. Hype deflated. Anderson Blitz, if you can smell when The Rock steals your WrestleMania spotlight again and plays the same character all the time and fans still love him. Well, that doesn't really roll off the tongue like if you smell what The Rock is cooking, so I don't think you could fit all of that on a t-shirt. I don't think it would sell very well. Fahad, this is honestly depressing. I have 0% excitement for WrestleMania. Kells said, with the $40. That was the $40 one from earlier. Hey, Kells, thank you. What if Cody does not use his title shot at Mania and uses it like a cash-in? That would suck. When you say cash-in, if you mean cash-in the way that most people cash in, like Roman wrestles and then out comes Cody to cash in, if you want to do the absolute worst thing imaginable, do that. Because that is a terrible idea. But Kels, thank you, man. Thank you for the $40. Alfonso, seeing Cody leave the ring and walk up the aisle broke my heart. What the fuck are they thinking? After everything, just to screw him like that. I don't know, man. Sam Bluestein, only watching the women's matches at WrestleMania. I'm done. Burnout Media. There had to be a better way to get there than this. There always is. And I've talked about it on a lot of the podcasts over the last probably month or so. There were other ways to do this without doing it the way that it appears they're doing it. We'll see. Things are still going to play out. But the way things were left at the end of the show tonight, it doesn't look good. Diego Vasquez, did you hear the ticketing issue at the Royal Rumble? A lot of us got our tickets recalled and resold, but we got lucky and got floor seats. I did not hear that. How come my tickets weren't recalled and I didn't get floor seats? What makes you so special? No, I didn't hear that. Gregory Allen, hey Gregory, thank you for the $10. I appreciate that. Scody Clash with the $9.99. Rock should have just been in the Rumble and won it, because now Cody's Rumble win feels pointless. I should be happy, but I'm pissed. Another reason why Roman should have lost last year. Absolutely. Had he lost the title last year, you could do Rock and Roman this year with no title. You could have done that. Aaron with the $100 super chat. Went from being super excited to see Mania to not even wanting to watch it at all. They're fucking over Cody again. There's no need for 51-year-old Rock wrestling for the title. They made Cody look like a bitch. The story is over. Rock cares about no one but himself. And his family. He's keeping it in the family. The Juliet with the $25 Brie mode. Nice job, Rock and Triple H. This WrestleMania will get shit on as badly as 32 and 34 were. Cody should go back to AEW with this. Well, let's not get carried away now. I did like what they did with Bayley and Damage Control tonight. Yeah, I thought that was very well done. I mean, again, it's going to be overshadowed in all the discourse about what happened at the end of the show. But I thought what they did there was well done. And I am looking forward to seeing Bayley and Io at WrestleMania. At least that's one thing they got right. Anis, 50 to 80% of Lesnar merch off at WWE shop. That doesn't mean anything. All the people who are reporting this, by the way, I love these websites that have these like news stories up. Brock Lesnar merchandise. Even PW Insider had something about that earlier. Brock Lesnar merchandise marked down. It takes 2 seconds to go to WWE shop. Pick anybody else. Pick The Undertaker. His shit is marked down too. Everybody's stuff is marked down. Brock Lesnar's merchandise is not marked down any more or less than anybody else, but nobody bothered to take 2 seconds to check some of the other wrestlers that are listed on WWE shop. Because people are fucking lazy and they just want to get out with the story. So it became Brock Lesnar merchandise has been marked down. The bigger story would be if they pulled the merchandise, which they have not done. But no, them marking it down does not mean anything, so ignore that. Captain Ash. Rock wins, wasted rub. Rock loses, wasted time. Matthew Rice with the $9.99. I'm one of the biggest Rock fans around, but this was the wrong call. Cody should have come out and challenged Roman Reigns for WrestleMania. That match should be happening, not this one. Shaking my head. Damn. Shout out to the mods, by the way, who are putting in the work tonight in the live chat. We got a lot of people here. ABK, oh my god, my boy. You know, when ABK's super chat came in before, ABK, I didn't see the dollar amount. At first, I didn't see it. But holy shit. Basically, a $500, $494, it's $500, a $500 super chat from ABK. ABK, you know, it's like the other night, I don't think he was here Monday or Wednesday. Maybe he was, but he didn't chime in. And I'm like, man, I hope everything's okay. You know, coming out of the Rumbles, no ABK. And then he'll just drop a bomb on you, you know, out of nowhere, just to kind of remind you of like who the king really is. You know, I love it. He says, I'm back. Past week in wrestling crazy and fuck The Rock. Also, my name isn't Aaron. I know. He was offended the other night. You know, Aaron was dropping so many bombs. I'm like, I wonder if the A in ABK stands for Aaron. But no, they're two different people. We're going to get Rock and Roman at WrestleMania. We may have to get Aaron and ABK in the ring together at WrestleMania. ABK, though, thank you, man. Aaron, speaking of which, says, wow, ABK calling me out. We're all here to have fun. It's all in good fun, my friend. Nothing like a little healthy competition. We're all on the same page here. Food Hive. God, there's a name I haven't heard in a while. Food Hive says, yo, just stopped by to say F this company and their imaginary records. Cody and the Solomonster are the reasons I got back into wrestling. Wow. Let Cody finish his story, because it makes a better story. I think it does too. Apparently they feel differently. Paul Van Summeren with the $10. Bro, love the channel, but you're salty as fuck. People have been talking and telling you that all of this was a huge possibility, but you didn't want to hear it. Maybe Rhodes wins it at the Saudi show. Well, you're coming at me with even worse ideas now. So, Cody Rhodes will go to... What is even the next one? Crown Jewel is in November. So what's the one in May? I forgot. So he'll win it in May? No. No. Tyron Ty. Cody versus Roman SummerSlam 2024. Are you sure about that? Because then we'll get all the people saying, well, bro, he's only a month away from beating Hogan's record. You can't have Roman. This is what I said a few weeks ago. I said that if you keep moving the goalposts, that's all that's going to keep happening. You can't have Roman lose at WrestleMania because you got to let it go another year, or you got to have the Rock match. We'll do it at SummerSlam, right? And then we get to SummerSlam and it's like, well, bro, you know, he's only a month away from Hogan's record. You can't beat him at SummerSlam. You got to let him get to September because the record isn't broken until September. So then he'll pass Hogan and then it'll become something else. It'll be some other excuse. Well, bro, I mean, come on, it's the fall. You gotta beat him in the fall? You gotta let him go to WrestleMania next year. Roman Reigns is gonna be walking out of WrestleMania 67 with a fucking gray beard like Merlin the Wizard, with that belt around his waist. Chris Miner, the $9. I'm still holding out hope to have Larry David against Elmo at WrestleMania. Elmo has to go over. Automatic bell for Be the Booker. I'm almost positive that the whole Larry David Elmo thing from the Today Show the other day was probably being filmed for the final episode of the season. The new Curb season starts. Is it this weekend? I think it might be this Sunday. My guess, and this is just me, that they may not yet have the final episode wrapped, and that may be in the episode. Like, that's exactly the sort of thing I would expect to see on an episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm. So I'm kind of hoping it ends up in the show. But I'm serious. I mean, you saw that walk that Roman did in the ring when he was mocking Rollins tonight. He was walking like this. That's going to be him walking down the aisle, walking down the ramp at WrestleMania 67. AJ with the $4.99. Yeah, people didn't know about this? Larry David put the claw on Elmo. He attacked Elmo on the Today Show the other day. That's why I laugh. You know, the comments that Larry made recently on Bill Simmons' podcast, where he laughed at him and he mocked him because you watch wrestling? And he was mocking him for it. If it was anybody else, it would upset me, but it's Larry, and it's Larry being Larry. But then I saw him put the claw on Elmo, and I said, this guy's full of shit. I go, that's a Von Erich claw if I've ever seen one. This guy, he's a closet fan. He obviously, big fan of the Von Erichs, watching World Class. Either that or Baron Von Raschke. Nobody puts the claw on like that unless they're a wrestling fan. AJ says, just popped in to see how pissed off Solomonster was, and I was not let down. Hope you can get a nice stiff drink with this. Cheers, brother. Thank you, AJ. Holiday. Not a wise call to have Roman talk trash about the World Heavyweight title when it is so close to WrestleMania, and this is the first year the major belt will be, or the first year that the title will be defended in. Yeah, I mean, again, the World Heavyweight title sustained a major blow this week with Punk going down due to injury. So they're already at a handicap with that belt. Letting Roman go out there or having him go out there, unless they're planning on Roman and Seth sooner than we all think, did no favors for the World Heavyweight title because everything he said, everybody believes. So the World Heavyweight title was already wounded, or the World Heavyweight title match was already wounded.
Do you feel him, sir?
Earlier this week. That segment tonight did not do it any favors. Dallas. This is all because we didn't see Black Adam. What a joke. Even with Vince being gone, WWE will always WWE. What an absolute burial and embarrassment. Edwin. Hopefully this is just a setup for WrestleMania 41 and somehow Rock gets injured in storyline and Cody gets the title and revenge in storyline at this year's WrestleMania. WrestleMania 41, who cares? WrestleMania 41? How about Rock gets injured in storyline in the next month and Cody has to step in? How about that? Like, the chances of that are less than 0% now that they've guaranteed people this match is going to happen. But WrestleMania 41, yeah, I'm not interested in that. Ash Queen. What was the point of Cody winning the Rumble and pointing at Roman? I don't know. You tell me. Devin from New Jersey. Does Solo remember Carl Weathers on The Shield? I do. Yes. How did I not mention that? I do. Used to be partners with Vic Mackey. He showed up in one episode. That's right. That's right. He was on The Shield. Rodimus Prime, dumbfounded at what happened tonight. But instead of the Mets, Cody is becoming the Dallas Cowboys of the WWE. It is always next year. Yes. Yeah, that is true. If there is a more loser franchise and cursed franchise than the Mets, it would be the Cowboys. How about them Cowboys? There you go. Jamal Bedlam. Why does this company do things like this to hurt people that dare get invested in the stories they tell? Rock really heavily teasing the WrestleMania 40 match with Roman, LOL. The Juliet. WWE better be prepared to pipe in crowd noise and take signs from now until WrestleMania after tonight at all TV events. Well, evidently not, because the crowd in Birmingham went nuts. And so I am sure that they have Rock on any of the shows in the lead up between now and then. You know, there might be some scattered boos in some cities, but, you know, he'll be cheered. We'll get This Is Awesome. Retro KOH. This is not even a problem because Cody's story, quote unquote. Rock has no business taking a main event spot when their main event scene is as deep as it is. Well, you know, that's the funny thing about this whole thing. There have been other WrestleManias in years past, since we've last seen Rock in an actual match, where you could have said, you know, the top of the card isn't really as deep as it could be. There's been a bunch of injuries, and they don't really have anybody else, like a big attraction. And that would have been the time to really pick up the phone and call The Rock and say, hey, what do you think about this? Of all the times for them to be doing it, Rock just so happened to pick the time. The WWE business is already booming more than it's ever boomed before. Like this WrestleMania, this time right now, at this moment, even with the injury to Punk and the other injuries they've had, I said their bench is deep enough that they don't need to break glass and pull the emergency lever down and call Steve Austin or The Rock or The Undertaker or anybody else. Like, for the first time in a long time, they really don't have to do that. And now is the time that Rock has decided, you know what? I'm going to come back and I'm going to get my match with Roman Reigns. Just funny to me. The Moldy Cheeseburger. What role will AJ, I thought they said AJ, this is AI, What role will AI play in pro wrestling if it has a role in it at all? I heard Eric Bischoff praising it during his podcast. What say you? Praising what? Praising AI? Yeah, we'll see how much he praises AI until somebody puts together an AI Eric Bischoff and attaches some kind of weird message to it, purporting to be from Eric himself. We'll see if he appreciates the value of AI at that point. Look, I mean, AI, it's just a part of society and life now, and what role it'll play in pro wrestling? It's already playing a role in pro wrestling. Did you see the new trailer for 2K24? Does that not look like a form of AI to you? The way that they have Hulk Hogan looking so young and Steve Austin looking so young, it looks weird, but... And maybe that's not even AI, but... I'm sure it'll play a role. I find it very scary, to be honest with you. A lot of this AI stuff, I would hope and like to think that it would be regulated in some way, but probably not. JRG, hey, thank you for the $5. Orhan. Hey, Andre just subscribed. Thank you, Andre. Orhan says, well, once Punk gets out of the way here. There you go. What does Seth lack to be the guy like Roman and Cody? You know, it's just sometimes there's that intangible, you hear about the word it. Some people have it, some people don't. Rollins as an in-ring performer has it. Like, he's a tremendous in-ring performer. But as a personality, there's just something that he's missing there. And this gimmick that he's had where he comes out and he's wearing the wacky clothing and he cackles like a hyena and all that, I don't find that entertaining. I don't find that to be genuine. Those times when he gets serious, he's very good. But there's just an inauthentic aspect to that character that I feel like prevents him from connecting with the audience in a way that other people do. I think that's what he's missing. Feels like he's on television playing a character as opposed to really just being himself. But again, some people just have it. Some people have a certain charisma about them. Rollins is charismatic, but he's not charismatic in the same way that someone like The Rock is. You know, and he just doesn't have that same aura about him, even when like Roman Reigns walks out. Like, those certain guys have that certain intangible that not everybody has. Rollins doesn't really have that. He's a big star for them, and he's very talented, but he's missing that one ingredient. Shaolin Island. Story finished. JRG. Will Rock win the title against Roman and then drop it to Cody a month or two later? No way they will have Roman close Mania for 4 straight years. Oh, you think? There were people saying that about last year's WrestleMania. So, do I think that they would possibly close a 4th straight WrestleMania with Roman Reigns as the champion? Yeah. Yeah, I could see that. As far as Rock winning the title and then dropping it to Cody, I have no interest in seeing that. I think that would be incredibly stupid. I don't see the point in doing that. What would be the point of doing that? Like, no, I don't want to see that. Matt McClure, I couldn't believe how defeated I felt at WrestleMania last year when Cody lost, and now I feel even more defeated. Cody is the future. Why are we doing this? Well, because sometimes you take, short-term gain for longer-term plans, which is what, you could call this, has been a longer-term play for them for a while, but sometimes that short-term gain, man, it's very appealing. It's hard to turn down and say no. BCOM, see clearly, I rewatched Nakamura's main roster debut. It was classic. Was that the night on SmackDown when I think Miz and Maurice were cosplaying as Cena and Nikki, and they went to go leave, and then the violin player came out and played Nakamura out? Because that was pretty good. Anti-M Bishop 07 says, been a long time, Solomonster. Hope you enjoyed your vacay. Kind of. And then part of it was ruined by the sex pest. So I couldn't fully enjoy it, but it was still nice to get away for a few days. And to all the people that said it was not Cody's time last year, what do you have to say now? Well, there's no point in even asking the question, because those same people will laugh and tell you that, well, it's not his time now either. So there really is no legitimate answer that you're going to get when you ask that question. JD Films with the $32. Could they maybe do a downward spiral storyline for Roman Reigns if he loses the title to Cody at Elimination Chamber? I think that could be one of the only ways they could make sense of The Rock and Roman at WrestleMania. They could, if they were to have Rock come out and cost Roman the title, which would also be fucking stupid. And then Roman could be all pissed at The Rock, and it adds more heat to their match, and now the title becomes an afterthought. You see what I'm saying here? Like, if you actually did that, first of all, I don't like the idea of Rock getting involved in costing Roman the title. I had no issue if Rock showed up at WrestleMania and fought off the bloodline to make it a fair fight. I think that would have been perfect. But the idea of Rock potentially showing up, let's say he helps Cody win, or he costs Roman the belt, he attacks him, hits him with the belt, rock bottom or something. I hate that. That's stupid. Because then Cody didn't win shit, Rock won it for him. Little brother, right? I don't like that. But a downward spiral storyline for Roman, I think it could work. You know, I think that there is something there. But if that was the way they were to do it, then I have no interest in seeing it. Jessica Herman, I feel like WWE is using Rock versus Roman to get the focus off of Vince McMahon. What say you? Thanks for being my go-to for wrestling analysis. I think that's absolutely a part of it. I would not be at all shocked if that's part of their play here. It's like, look, we're going through this really difficult time now, and Rock is a board member, so he's well aware of what's going on. And so we got to do something to try to deflect from what's going on. And this is one of the things they came up with. Would not be surprised at all. Chris AXC, with the way AEW is filling buildings if you're a free agent, why would you choose them over WWE right now? What do you think is the decision maker for Okada? Friends and comfort or legacy? Only Okada knows the answer to that. I don't know that it's just money. If it's just money, to me, he's going to make a lot of money in AEW. He's going to make a lot of money in WWE. It is possible that AEW will offer him more money. So if it's strictly a financial incentive that he's looking for, he'll go with Tony Khan. Because Tony Khan will fucking blow the bank open on this guy in a way that WWE may not. You mentioned legacy. If Okada wants to go out there and become the biggest possible star that he can on the biggest possible stage, he's not going to do that in AEW. He would have to go to WWE. If he wants that WrestleMania match, right? He wants to rub shoulders with people like The Rock and stuff like that. He has to go to WWE in order to do that. If he wants to go somewhere where he's going to be paid well, he's got friends, he has people he can trust, he could potentially still go back and work New Japan if he wants to, even once a year, and he can work the exact same style in the ring that he has worked his entire career. AEW is going to be the place for him. Because he goes to WWE, there may be certain things he can do. There may be certain things that, you know, the way he works, he has to adjust certain things. He may not know as many people. Obviously, he knows Nakamura, but I don't know how many other people he's friendly with in WWE. So if that's important to him, and I know he's very good friends with the Young Bucks, he's befriended Bryan Danielson in recent months. He has a lot of trust in him, apparently. I think he'll end up in AEW. But ultimately, only Okada knows. Only he knows what he's looking for. Keep hitting that like button, by the way. Apparently, we're closing in on 1,000 likes. Can we actually break 1,000 likes here before I even get to the end of the Super Chats? Is it possible that you guys can kill it so much that we actually close in on maybe 1,100 likes? Because that'd be pretty badass. Bobby's World, you know, when Rock said he wanted to do something that had never been done before, I didn't know he meant stealing someone else's WrestleMania title shot. There you go. You may be onto something there. Unprecedented. The theft of a WrestleMania title shot as one in the Royal Rumble. Maybe that was what Rock was talking about. He wants to do something that's never been done before. Channel 1107 with the $9.99. Rock versus Roman has been the biggest match WWE can do for the last few years. And the path to that match was one of the easiest to navigate. Instead, WWE made an absolute confusing mess of it. Yes, they did. Justin Santiago, you created a Cody meme. I sent it to you on X. Oh boy. Well, I will have to check that out when I'm done here. Justin says, specifically for Bayley, she will get her roses. I hope so. She deserves it. She's waited long enough. Michael Grace with the $19.99. Are we really going to see Roman win out his fourth Mania? I don't know how people can get excited. The outcome is predictable. No title change. Rock will get injured. And Cody's an idiot going for the consolation belt. My interest is gone. Well, when you put it like that. Nick Grosso, now that Bayley is out of the group, do they get a name change and new theme music? I don't know if they get a new name. New music, maybe. New music would be nice. There is no, but there is, well, no, I guess there is a Damage Control theme. I don't know. I'd like to see them get new music regardless of whether they get a new name or not, but we have to wait and see where Dakota Kai stands in all this as well. Retro says, Roman to Seth, real championship, cry me a river. Greg93X, Rock might as well have come out with beefcake shears and cut Cody's nuts off right there in the ring. 2 years of storytelling down the shitter. Wouldn't it be something if in the end CM Punk is the one who fucked all of this up? Oh man. Grant Hudson, Roman stole Taker's gimmick for how much he buried Seth, and the mini big gold 6 feet deep tonight. He literally little broed him. He did. DEH Sires, feel bad for Io and Bayley having great segment, now overshadowed by such a dumb booking decision at the end. The show before Emmy was great too. Emmy being main event. Yeah, there were a lot of things going on the show tonight. We had new talent appearing on the show. We had that Fatal 4-Way. We'll get another one on Monday. Owens, in theory, was, a solid match, if unspectacular. So it wasn't a bad show. DEH Sires. Thank you again for the $4.99. Barry says, Cody's story is getting kind of dumb. It is getting kind of dumb. This man's been telling us about this story now for 2 years, and he just willingly gave up the one chance he had to finish it, so we don't have to hear about it anymore. Everybody should be, for no other reason, everybody should be fuming right now because of that decision. Even the Cody haters should be fuming right now. Anti-M Bishop, why did that Cody segment give me the same feeling like watching The Shield when Shane took out Lem and he had the nerve to cry and say sorry? It's still one of the saddest scenes in all of television. Aaron with the $50 Gunther bomb. I would hate this, but what about Rock versus Cody versus Reigns at WrestleMania? You're right, I don't like that. Completely unnecessary. It's like somebody said before. It's like you're taking something that was so simple and you're overcomplicating it. There's no need for it. It would protect Rock if you put Rock in a triple threat. You can take him out of the equation. He can go rest in the corner or rest on the floor. Let Roman and Cody work for a while. Then Rock pops up. He makes the big comeback. I'm not so sure that wouldn't be the better scenario for Rock. Arabian Night, people gonna sour on Cody. Good job, Vince. I mean, Triple H. Randall the Sandal. I really hope this is a swerve. Rock has more juice than Tropicana and less gas than a broken down car. Goldberg tier booking. I have to reread that again. Rock has more juice than Tropicana and less gas than a broken down car. You have a way with words, my friend. Aaron with the $20. Could you see Rock versus Roman at Mania getting shit on by the crowd? Probably not. I think you would have maybe a segment of the crowd, but... You know, look, it's still a big match, and I feel like if you're paying for a ticket... And tickets for WrestleMania are only getting more expensive. So if you're paying to go to WrestleMania, and they're going to give you a match like Rock and Roman, most people are not going to sit there and shit on it. Dan Richards, Tony Khan just tweeted that Rock hasn't won a match in 8 years, but he is getting a title match. Where is the outrage? Watch Dynamite Wednesday. It's great. You know what's sad about that is I can completely believe you when you say that he actually tweeted that. Joey Jojo Jr., Seth Rollins is that 50 Cent meme. Why'd he say fuck me for? I thought you were going to make reference to the Cody meme, that story he told at StarCast that one year where the referee fucked on him. Why did Rock fuck on me? Passion Fruity OG Hurt. This confirms my theory that they called an audible at the Royal Rumble. Knowing that CM Punk was injured, it was always going to be Roman versus Rock, Seth versus Punk, and Cody versus Orton. I don't think so. I think Cody was always the plan for the Royal Rumble winner. I disagree. Arabian Night, maybe they promised Rollins
it's Samoa BRO.
The Night 2 main event next year against Punk, and they do Cody versus Roman Night 1. Cody wins, and then Night 2, Roman against Rock, non-title. I don't think Seth would be very happy about that. I think Seth is going to work his ass off with this injury to get back so he can have a big match at WrestleMania. I don't think telling him maybe next year is going to satisfy him. Retro KOH. Aizen Super Chat nailed it. This is what happens when you try to make everyone happy. It just muddies the waters. You try to make everybody happy, and instead you end up just pissing everybody off. You can't make all people happy at all times. It's just not possible. It just doesn't work that way. Cal, they changed Humberto's name to just Berto. Is that true? Now he's Berto? Sounds like a Sesame Street character. Holy shit! Who is this? William Long! Holy shit! William Long is coming in with a $300 Super Chat bomb.
Yowie, wowie.
William Long, man, he knocked it long and hard out of the fucking park. Holy shit. Where did that come from? William, thank you, man. I'm working my way through these. I promise I'm going to get to yours here in a few minutes. Wow. This Berto thing threw me for a loop, though. Is that true? Berto? I hope not. I hope that's not true. GMB. Hoodie Jacob Fatu appears at WrestleMania and then Zilla at SummerSlam. I don't know about Zilla, but Jacob Fatu, I would love to see him get a shot in WWE. The only thing I can see being a hindrance is because of his past run-ins with the law. I don't know if he's able to leave the country or go to certain places internationally. I could see that being an issue. I don't know that needs to be a hindrance, though, to him getting a shot, but I could see that maybe giving them pause. Aaron with another $50 Super Chat. This all sucks, but does Cody win the title against Roman at SummerSlam, or is it just wishful thinking? You know, we're playing out all these scenarios. Is it possible? Yes, it's possible. It is possible. It could be SummerSlam, it could be Elimination Chamber. Somebody said Saudi Arabia. We don't know exactly when it is going to happen, other than, based on what Cody himself said in the main event tonight, it likely will not be WrestleMania. Because he specifically said that it would not happen at WrestleMania. That's what he said. We've got Barry MK400. They stopped using the Universal title on TV, but the website still counts him as champion. He's still a champion of a title, not even active anymore. The whole thing is stupid. The whole thing is completely dumb. They put these two titles together. They had two separate belts. Now we have one, but yet, which title lineage does it follow? We don't know. We don't know. And we have people talking about records that are being surpassed and broken, but like, again, the title he's holding, if you count it as the WWE title, he's nowhere close to being, you know, near these people that are at the top of the list. Like, what are we doing here? Like, what are we even talking about? I just don't understand. It just doesn't make sense. Manuel Macias. Is there hope for a 2014 situation? Fans turn on Rock, so add Cody to the match. Also, how are you feeling? Are you on board with the match? I hate this.
It's the amazing Gunther.
We'll let Gunther play
Jerry
first.
Lawler loves Gunther the Magnificent. All hail Gunther.
Hey, Elijah. Elijah Ricard with a $50 Gunther bomb. Gunther is making the rounds tonight, man. Gunther has been making some new friends. I've seen him more tonight than I have, I think, in my entire life. But as far as Manuel Super Chat there, is it going to be a 2014 situation? I don't think so. I don't think that that's what we're in for here. I don't think we're getting a Daniel Bryan redux here. There's always a risk. I don't see it. How am I on board with the match? Again, I'd rather not see a triple threat. The match is Roman and Cody. Cody made it very clear. You cheated me last year. You know that I had you beat. And now we get the rematch. Like, there's no need to muddy the waters here. Not saying they won't do it. Am I on board with it? No, because there's a better way to go about doing it. M. Mills, thank you for the $10. Appreciate it. Carl the Crab. You can physically take Vince out of WWE, but spiritually, and with the booking, he will always be a part of this company. Such a baffling decision. John Horton, thank you for the $2. Slipper House, extra. The Rock is a bozo. People say only stay entertained by a clown for so long. Slipper, thank you. Hold on. I have to cough. So hold on a second. Oh, man. I think this show nearly killed me tonight. This show is killing me. Hey, Slipper, thank you. Almost choked to death here on the stream. I choked to death on the booking here at the end of this show. You almost lost me here. Sure, some of you would enjoy that. Let's see here. Marquand, 1976. I got worried when Cole was taking shots at online fans complaining about Roman. I can't see him dropping that belt anytime soon. Yeah, that happened last week. Michael Cole made a comment about fans or online fans not liking how long Roman's been champion for. I mean, clearly it was a line that he was fed. But, Yuri. So wait, I missed SmackDown because of work. It's 100% Cody ain't getting Roman, or are we just thinking so? It says, ugh, glad TNA has been hitting so well recently because I am tired. Things are still kind of up in the air right now, but Cody specifically said that he wants that belt. He will get that belt, but it will not be at WrestleMania. That's what he said. That's Cody's own words. Turtlehead, I can't be convinced that Punk messed up the plan that much. If so, that's bad that they planned that much around a guy who they did not even expect to sign. DEH Sires, the main event segment has 6,000 likes and 11,000 dislikes on YouTube. I'm not surprised. If you don't like the decision, the only thing to do is to let them know, man. And that's one way that people, I guess, are going to let their voices be heard. You get the likes and dislikes on the WWE YouTube channel. Hey, Homesick Savage is a new subscriber. Welcome. Zachariah Sitchin. I kind of like this illustration of me. That's why I keep cutting back to it. I've never been the shape that I'm in here in this illustration. It's kind of my goal for this year. I'm going to try to get cut here like Solomonster in this image here. Anyway, Zachariah, thank you for the $9.99. I would not call The Rock a box office draw after Black Adam bombed. All I ask is The Rock doesn't do his lame-ass shtick in the build-up. And I pray it's a 5-minute match. We all know he cannot go 20 minutes. Well, you know, the last segment we saw Rock in, when he came out, we had a segment on SmackDown back in September with Austin Theory. And he came back last month. He had that segment with Jinder Mahal. And he borrowed a lot of the same shtick that he used in September. Right? You're an asshole. You're a douchebag. We're going to have this side of the arena go, you're a... And the other side's going to go, a douchebag. Okay? I'm like, it's very unoriginal. I'm like, this guy, he was like the king of the promo back in the day, right? He was so entertaining, and he would come out, and he had the crowd in the palm of his hand. And he still can command a crowd like few people can, but it's like I'm begging for some new material here. I'm begging that we get a more serious Rock. If they're going to do this match, and they're going to bring their family and their family history and their lineage into it, like, go for it, man. Like, go all the way with it. Don't go for this cheap pop shit where it's like, this guy's a popcorn fart, this guy's a douchebag. You know what? It's so tired and lazy and uncreative. So I hope this time Rock brings his A game. And we get to see what he can really do on the mic instead of just relying on the same tired old shtick. Because I was not impressed by what I saw in that segment with Jinder Mahal. He came out there pretending to be Captain America. Boring. Joey Jojo Jr., Punk 2011 and Cody 2024. The fact that Dwayne is in the main event of WrestleMania and I'm not makes me sick. Well, he'll be in the WrestleMania main event. It'll be the Night 1 main event. You know, if they had 2 nights of WrestleMania back then, Punk may have been in the WrestleMania main event. Alex Schmidt, Rock and Reigns video on YouTube has 10,000 likes and 21,000 dislikes. Uh-oh, it's growing. It's growing. Ali, Cody gonna main event WrestleMania, and then in parentheses he puts Backlash. Jason Smith, I don't want modern wrestling, but I've been what? I think it means watch. I don't watch modern wrestling, but I've been backlogging your content again, and I greatly enjoy it. Thanks for the years of videos. You're very welcome. I didn't understand what you were saying there for a second, but now I get it. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, and I'm glad you enjoy all the content. There's a lot of it. There's a lot of content going back to 2007 for me, so no shortage of that to go around. Alex with the $10 super chat. Hey, brother. I don't know if this question has been asked, and if it has, I apologize for joining the chat late, but what are the chances tonight's angle is a huge swerve masterminded by Triple H? If it's a swerve, damned if I know what the point of it is. I mean, they made it pretty clear that Cody said, I'm not going to win the title from you at WrestleMania because there's somebody else. And Rock came out, and there were a lot of people who were very excited, so you have to give them that match now. Now you've teased it. I mean, they teased it a month ago, but now we got that first face-to-face. So now they have no choice. They have to do Rock and Roman, whether it's Mania or some other time. They have to do Rock and Roman. So we know that's going to happen. Cody said, I'm not going to go after the title or win the title at WrestleMania. What's the swerve? I fail to see what the swerve is or what the point was in doing this. It just seems pointless. It's almost like Russo. It's like a Russo swerve. It's a pointless swerve for the sake of doing one, if that's the case. So I don't think it's a swerve, just because I don't really see the sense and the logic behind it. King of Doug style. I'm going to focus in Bayley finally getting the spotlight she so deserves. Thank you, Solomonster, for all the content lately. It's been a lot and appreciated. You're very welcome. Barry MK400. I did see that Brock was removed from the WWE Supercard mobile game. Yes, he was. I don't know if he'll be removed from 2K24. It might be too late, but I guess the mobile game is easy enough to kind of pull somebody from it. I suspect that will not be the only thing he gets pulled from. Chris Auditor. I desperately want Rock and Roman to main event WrestleMania, and I will never, ever see Cody as a main event guy. So naturally, I am very happy right now. Well, I am happy for you. I know there are some people who don't like Cody or they don't see him at that level and they want Rock and Roman, and I don't begrudge those people. If that's what you want, congratulations. You got what you want. But not everybody agrees. Tyler Spuskowitz with the $12 super chat. WWE managed to win me back after 2020 this past year, and here they go reminding me why I left. Sound off fan since 2011, but don't tune in live often. Had to hear your thoughts after tonight, though. Well, I hope you caught the beginning of the stream, and I don't think I can make myself any clearer than I was there. Tuxedo T Servo. Turns out Cody's story was Old Yeller. I mean, seriously, this story, how long is this story going to be? His story is going to be longer than Moby Dick. Nick Mason, fantasy booking should have had Rock in Cody's corner to offer counsel for him at WrestleMania, and then when Cody wins, it leads to a Roman Rock match where they have a year-long build to WrestleMania 41. Yeah, that would have been fine. That would have been perfectly fine. Yuri, best WWE 2K Universe YouTube video bookings are better than this. Peter McNasty. Cody Royal Rumble win is one of the most pointless wins since Cena in 2008. Yeah, but with Cena in 2008, you got the big surprise in Royal Rumble history. So at least you got something out of that. Fallen Exposure. Was this all for Reigns to carry on his streak? It's going to be great when Cody finally wins, but Mania just feels deflated now. Juice Giorgio. When Rock came out, I thought he was going to be the guest referee for 40 and to set up the 41 main event. No, as soon as I heard what Cody said there, it was pretty clear who was coming out and what was going on. Zay97, better Korn song. Falling Away From Me or Freak on a Leash? Freak on a Leash. Xavier Walker, thank you for the $4.99. No message, just showing some love. The Mount Vernon Kid. Christopher Bennett, rest in peace. Carl Weathers, absolutely. Iconic, thank you. Warm Corn. Have me fight Roman and Rock. My story starts now. Well, I don't know about you guys. I'm rooting for Warm. Now that Cody's dream is dead for this year, I am going to hitch my wagon to Warm Corn for WrestleMania. So, you got my vote. Xavier Walker. They really wrote themselves in a corner. We can't see Cody against Seth again. They are going to have to make Cody go heel or something. Now, they're not going to make Cody go heel. The fans may end up making him go heel at some point soon. They're not going to do that. I'm thinking Cody and Seth probably is the play here. Super Pony KO against Randy at WrestleMania, yay or nay? I like that. What's the story behind it though? You got two baby faces, so if you can come up with a decent enough story, I'd be all for it. Arabian Night, is Rock's ego that big that he would take a spot from someone he respects? Wow, I wonder if Hogan came back a year earlier in 01, took his spot against Austin, how he would feel. Probably not very good. Iconic, do you think Triple H will be fired? He had to know. We don't know what he did know or did not know. But we'll talk more about that story on Sunday. Matthew Thomas could have had the modern boyhood dream at WrestleMania. Zachariah, guess what? Here in Oklahoma, we just had an earthquake. Shocking, but not a coincidence. If that's not a sign that we don't want Rock and Roman at Mania, then I don't know what is. Well, I hope you're all safe. Hopefully it wasn't a huge earthquake. And all is well, I hope. Thunder Force. Well, now it looks like the only matches I'm looking forward to at WrestleMania are Io and Bayley and Rhea and Becky. The latest update, by the way, is that the WWE video on their YouTube channel of Cody's decision has 34,000 dislikes. ABK against Paul Hamilton against Aaron against William Long in a Break the Bank Super Chat match. Hey, I'm all in favor of that. Yuri, so we're going to get a roster-thinned Elimination Chamber show in an Australian market. You would think they would want to pop. Why can't Rock versus Roman be there? Would add to Cody's win. Shaking my head. Boney with the $5. Imagine you're CM Punk and you injure your pec in a match. Just be the runner-up only for the winner to give away his title shot. I would fight tears too. Richie. So The Rock is basically Batista and Cody is basically Daniel Bryan from 2013. Again, I'm not so sure about that. I don't know that we're going to have the kind of backlash we had in 2014. Not that I would mind. I mean, hey, look, if the fans, here's what I would say. If the fans are really upset about this, and again, we still have to wait and see what Cody is going to say on Monday, what decision he makes, what does this all mean for his match at WrestleMania. But if things progress in the way that it looks like they're going to progress, and people are genuinely upset about this, I think with Rock on board, they're locked in. But let your voices be heard. In whatever form or fashion it may be, on social media, if disliking their videos on YouTube, or you want to bring signs or be vocal at the shows, I mean, the fans can voice their opinion. Doesn't mean WWE is going to listen to what they have to say. But yeah, speak your mind. Whatever you think, speak your mind. But Richie, thank you. We have Motif. Meow, meow, meow. And meow. Thank you, Motif. Apparently, Motif is currently waiting for his vet appointment tomorrow. Velvet Floor 18. The fact that Dwayne is in the main event at WrestleMania and I'm not makes me sick. Does it sound familiar? Yes, it does. Texas Aggie 1299. For a company that's so successful, they sure know how to fumble fuck stories. I like that. Fumble fuck. I'm going to start using that. Fumble fuck stories that are right in front of them. Cody deserves better than this crap. Grant Hudson with the 1999. Apparently, Dave said on the board that combination of Punk getting hurt and the Vince stuff made them... I think he fucked up the super chat there, but apparently that factored into the decision. Says Punk and Seth and Cody and Roman were the OG plans, and Rock Roman was going to happen later in Saudi Arabia or WrestleMania 41. Well, you know, again, that's just fucking stupid if that's the case. You had plans locked in. Now, I get that Punk got hurt. He went down. They panicked. They got to figure out a plan B. This was not it. This was not it. I mean, if we come to find out that and all this Vince shit going on, and this was their way of trying to deflect from that makes it even worse. Because that just reeks of desperation. That makes it even worse. That they would fuck up their own plans. They had solid plans going into WrestleMania this year. They had no good reason, if that's true, they had no good reason to do what they did. That is a panic move if I have ever seen one. Anthony, I guess it's video packages until Mania for the main event since these guys barely show up. Yeah, I hope you're ready for that, by the way. I mentioned 2 part-timers in the WrestleMania main event. You think you're going to get Roman and Rock on the same show more than once or twice in the build-up to WrestleMania? I don't know, maybe Rock is on the board now. Maybe if he clears his schedule, he can actually appear a few times. But I hope people are prepared for that. William Long, there he is. There's my boy William here with the $300 Super Chat bomb. Solo, I try to be reasonable. I watch both AEW and WWE and avidly avoid tribalism. But tonight was the most insulted that I have felt as a fan for caring about something since The Fiend and Rollins in 2019. Has me about to drop WWE until Punk comes back. I don't know. For catharsis, what bad decisions almost made you tap out? The Allied Powers. Seriously. In 95, I remember watching the Allied Powers. They put Bulldog and Luger together as this weird combination on TV as a team. And that coupled with some of the gimmicks at the time, the Blue Brothers, or Jacob and Eli Blue, and we had all this nonsense going on, and I was this close to just tapping out for good. In more recent years, there have been some boneheaded decisions that I hated. I wouldn't say it almost made me tap out, but yeah, there have been a lot of dumb decisions over the years. But that's probably the closest I've ever came to just being done with the whole thing was in 95. 95 had its moments, but it was pretty fucking bad. But William, thank you for the $300 Super Chat. I appreciate it. And I'm glad you're still around. Stick it out. Stick it out. It'll get better. And if not, you always have me to rant about it here. So at least you got that. Motif says, I like turtles. First he's a cat, now he's a turtle. Elijah Ricard with the $50. Hopefully Bayley gets her hugger theme back now. Story's over, you fucking geek line of the year. Love you, Solo. Again, I can't confirm it, but it looked to me like maybe that's what Rock whispered in his ear. Story's over, you fucking... No, it wasn't Story. I think it was a dream. Dream's over, you fucking geek. Don't quote me on that, but that may have been what he whispered in Cody's ear. Kevin Murillo. This could only make sense if Roman main events WrestleMania Night 1 against Rock. Winner takes on Cody. This gives Roman the greatest night of his career, only to lose it all on Night 2. You know what? I'd be okay with that. I'm just going by what they had in the segment tonight when Cody made it very clear. I'm going to win that title from you, but not at WrestleMania. They can make a liar out of him, and they can pivot, and they can come up with that as another plan. It sounds to me like they're just kind of booking this on the fly here.
Samoa BRO.
At least if what Meltzer apparently said on the board is correct, that it was a combination of the Punk injury and the Vince stuff, and they're trying to deflect, and they're trying to come up with something big. That doesn't sound to me like a lot of thought was put into this over an extended period of time. Even though they've wanted, we thought Rock and Roman might be possible, but it sounds like exactly what I said. This all came together very quickly. You could do Rock and Roman on Night 1. You could do Cody and Roman on Night 2. Roman beats Rock. He's on, he's flying high. Goes into Mania Night 2. Rock could do the same thing that I said before. He comes back out on Night 2, but it fights off the bloodline. Now we have a fair fight. Now Roman doesn't have anybody. He doesn't have Jimmy. He doesn't have Solo. And then Cody wins the bout. You could do that. You could do that. That could be one way to salvage things for Cody. It fucks over Seth Rollins, if he wants his main event, but you could do that. But right now, at this moment, it doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like it. Brandon Vasquez, initially it was Cody against Roman. Why would they pan the camera with Cody pointing to Roman with both of them mouthing off to each other? After Cody's Rumble win, Punk's injury changed all of the original plans. This is all Drew McIntyre's fault. Mr. Scythe. This was the equivalent of them making Cody go sit in the cuck chair. Between this and Punk's injury, my excitement for Mania has gone down the shitter. Passion Fruity Yogurt. In your opinion, if CM Punk did not get injured, what would he / Cody / Rock be doing at WrestleMania? What would both title matches look like? As I've said, Seth and Punk Night 1, Cody Roman Night 2. Rock comes in, chases off the bloodline. This is simple. This is simple. Any simpleton could have booked that, and it would have been perfect. So were it not for the injury, that's how WrestleMania goes down. Colin C. 2 possibilities for WrestleMania main event. A. Rock versus Roman non-title. Roman goes over. Or B. Cody and Rock versus Roman and Solo. At WrestleMania? No. A tag team match at WrestleMania? No. Absolutely not. Tyrone Dunstan, thank you for the $5. Jazz Jackrabbit, Rock and Roman. Would rather see Hangman against Taya Leone. You know, until the other night, again, I didn't put 2 and 2 together, and I just, Toa Leone of the Mogul Embassy. It's like someone mentioned Taya Leone, and now I will never be able to look at Toa Leone, or Leone. I can't even say his name now. I'll never be able to look at him the same way now. I will always picture Taya Leone's face now on his body with all the tattoos. WWE killed the rest of the show. Example, except the Bayley segment, feel violated, which is par for this effing company. Well, let's not talk about that this of all weeks. Creflo $50. Looks like the roads to WrestleMania just got a little rocky. I'll be performing on the Van Wyck all week. Good. I hope the birds get to you. The third, Morris. When Rock's music hit, did you consider breaking something or putting a hole in the wall? Well, that wouldn't really do me any good, would it? I just kind of laughed, and then I shook my head, and then the anger slowly set in. But no, I'm not going to break my own shit. Yuri, doesn't this kill Royal Rumble wins a little bit and make Cody against Seth seem hollow if that is the next step? I think even off Cody's emotion tonight shows that. Yeah. Ali, Batista did not give up his main event like a moron. No, he did not. And I actually don't blame Batista at all for what happened back then. It wasn't his fault. Apparently, Batista actually recognized that if they brought him back as a babyface that night at the Royal Rumble, he was going to get booed, and he was right. So, Big Dave with the big brain. Retro KOH, unless I am mistaken, Cody shared on Instagram that he will be on next week's SmackDown. Does anything change by then? We'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. You know, we react to these shows sometimes in a vacuum. You watch the show, you react to the show. Is it possible that a week from now, things look different than they look tonight? I hope so. I hope so. I hope so. I would love to be wrong about all this. We can only go by what we go by. We only go by what we see. What we see tonight was pretty clear. If you're telling me Cody is going to be on SmackDown next week, maybe he is going to challenge Roman for the Elimination Chamber. Maybe they're going to add Roman to the Chamber and they're going to do the match there. Motif, I have a theory. Hear me out. Triple H is a calculated MFer who knows what he is doing. What if he is sabotaging The Rock? For years, WWE has been a sanctuary for him to return whenever and get wildly cheered. And then he continues. What if Triple H is wanting the crowds to turn on Rocky? Philly booed Rock and Roman out of the building at the Royal Rumble in 2015. Maybe Triple H knows that this Vince scandal might eventually take him down, and he wants to take his oldest rival down too. That is quite the imagination that you got there, and that is absolutely not what's going on here. I don't believe that for a second. Do I think that Triple H still harbors some professional jealousy when it comes to The Rock? Yeah, I don't think that's ever gone away. But that's a very creative pitch. But no, that is not what's going on here. Hollywood guy, is this more of a TKO decision than Triple H's? I don't think TKO would get involved in the creative process. I'm sure they love the fact that Rock is involved. Do I think that they made the call? No, I don't. I don't think they're going to get involved in creative issues. Devin from NJ, is WWE an entertainment company over a wrestling company? That's why a part-time guy like Rock gets the main event over a workhorse like Cody. WWE has been an entertainment company for years, more than a wrestling company. So it's not shocking they would do something like that, but to answer your question, that's exactly what they are. I mean, the word entertainment, I mean, I know the word wrestling is in the name, but the word entertainment is really what they focus on. Arabian Night, what if the reason Cody said I'm not facing you at WrestleMania is because Rock against Roman is happening at the Chamber? And Cody is implying that you won't make it to WrestleMania as the champion. I don't know. I mean, I could have sworn the specific quote was, I'm taking that title. The implication is he would take the title or win the title, but not at WrestleMania. So, I mean, if he was specifically talking about taking it from Roman or beating Roman, then I might be able to kind of see what you're saying there, but I thought the implication was I'm taking that title, just not at WrestleMania. Which would invalidate what you are asking. The Dada and Boys podcast, don't be a hater Solo, and smell. Smell. Oh, it smells. I smell it. Chris Manson, Dwayne coming in to pinch hit for Cody in the 9th. Take all the glory, too. Cody plays for 9 innings, and then in comes Rock to pinch hit. And then he gets a walk-off win for the team when he gets hit by a pitch on a bases loaded. Ronan Mike Clips. I imagine Punk sitting in his hospital like Rust Cole from season 1 of True Detective, watching Raw, saying to himself, time is a flat circle. They really have not been able to replicate the magic of that first season, have they? Although I have not yet tried watching the 4th season. I've heard it's pretty good, but I have not watched it yet. Ronan also says, do you think Triple H told Cody, I'll owe you one, pal? Maybe Triple H has never let go of the hammer to the throne. You know, Cody has that throne in his gym at the Nightmare Factory in Georgia. As soon as you walk in, it's to the right. It's right there in the corner. Arabian Night, this is all because Punk got hurt 100% because they had both nights covered and there would be no need for The Rock. That is the only logical reason. Thunder Force, to quote the GOAT, frustrated. Frustrated is not the goddamn word for it. Kevin Murillo, Rock counseling Cody to give him the main event is like Hogan counseling Bischoff to sabotage Starrcade 97 because Sting was not tanned enough. That's right. He wasn't tanned enough on that show. He wasn't looking the part. So Hogan had to do what he had to do. Even though Sting ended up winning the title, Hogan really beat him. Hogan pinned him fair and square. Never forget. Yuri, trying to make sense. He says Roman gets cocky in face if Rock promising him a match, and Rock uses his known role as a way to get Cody in versus Roman for night 2 as a nod to Roman's run but payoff at I have no idea what you just said. I don't doubt that you put a lot of effort into it, but I have no clue. You said trying to make sense. I know you tried, but it didn't work. Yuri, thank you, though. Zay says Triple H is starting to live up to that doofus son-in-law title. And Booba. Rock's music hits, and I'm sure Solomonster sighs and then smiles because he knows his stream is going to be money, brother. You know what's funny is that as soon as that whole segment went down, I just kind of peered over into the chat, and I saw the number of people going up, and I said it's going to be one of those nights. It's going to be one of those nights where we all commiserate together. And it was. It certainly was. But that covers, I think, the majority of it. Holy shit, man. Wow. We still have well over 2,700 people with us here at 1:30 in the morning. We still got super chats coming in, though. Yeah, I promise you, by the way, a Be the Booker, if we hit a minimum of 400 likes, we are closing in on 1,200 likes. So let's hit that 1200 here in a bit. Hydrograd just dropped at 20. My assumption is that Cody against Roman takes place at the Chamber. Cody beats Roman, and Rock against Roman happens at Mania without the belt on the line, with Cody going into Mania as the champion. Either way, this is stupid. This is stupid, yes. If it plays out this way, it's very stupid. And shout out to Anton, by the way, who just dropped his very first super chat. He says, I hope it's some kind of a swerve. I hope for a three-way. I hope that I wake up and it's all just a dream. An American dream. Where did I leave off? My God, there's so many of them. EAW on 2-3. Cody Roman, anywhere but Mania, just isn't the same. Well, look, the Roman Rock fans would probably say the same thing about their match, right? Oh, it has to be WrestleMania. Can't be anywhere else. Juan Ocampo. The Rock Roman match might be a worse kick-out fest for the last 10 minutes, like Cena versus Rock 2 at WrestleMania 29. You were at the match and did not like it. No, I hated it. I thought it sucked. And that's all it was. That's all half the match was. It was just attitude adjustment, rock bottom. Attitude adjustment, rock bottom. Attitude adjustment, slips out. Rock bottom attempt, slips out. Attitude adjustment, rock bottom. And then Rock tore his fucking abdomen. Another rock bottom attempt. Attitude. I mean, that was the match. That was literally like 60% of the match. And the people in the stadium were pretty dead for it. So when they went once in a lifetime, it became twice in a lifetime, and it did not live up to expectation. Hey, Pops Gaming, thank you for the sub. Andres Castillo, if Cody can't finish at Mania, can we get Solomonster to finish his story on 2K23 for Mania instead? Thanks for everything. At this rate, I'm just waiting for 2K24, and we'll just start a new story. I guarantee you I'll probably finish my story before he finishes his. Anton with his very first super chat again. Thank you very much. Super Pony, maybe Cody will win it at Great Balls of Fire, like Samoa Joe did. Yuri is going to try again. Rock uses his TKO position to get Cody in for night 2, even if he loses as payback for Roman's nonsense. Well, he would have to do it early. I mean, he's not going to wrestle, and lose to Roman on night 1, and then, at the end of the show be like, oh, by the way, I'm going to get Cody in there in that main event the next night. Again, we can sit here all night and come up with so many different possibilities and permutations. It's silly. It's unnecessary. This didn't have to be like this. Retro says, Terramana in my soul stole that match from Cody Rhodes. Luis. Well, Luis can get very animated. Luis is not happy. He says, screw Roman Reigns and screw The Rock. That's right. That's right. You tell him, Luis. Boobah says, 1,200 likes. Wow, let's book a PLE, brother. You know what? I think you guys killed it so much, we may have to bust out the stipulations tonight. That's what I think. Couple more here, and then we'll get to it. 89 Tech says, heel Cody Rhodes. Is he just going to undo everything they've worked for over the past year? No. Dr. Bropio, objective failed. Fuck you. Fuck you. And give me nightmares about that game. Objective failed. Alan Alec, my Mania hype literally died out completely tonight. Jeremy Watley, I finally caught you live. I am an American living in Germany. It's 7:28, I guess, in the morning. Just wanted to say I always listen to the show. If you get a chance to go to Europe, oh, it's going by so fast. If you get a chance to go to Europe, you will enjoy. I would love to go to Europe. I've never been to Europe. I've been to Central America. I've been to... Where have I been? I've been to Canada, multiple places in Canada. I've been to Mexico. I've been to Costa Rica. I've been to Colombia. No, never Europe. Never been to Europe. Jazz, how have you been sleeping the past week? Not very well. I still have not recovered from all the sleep I didn't get in Florida. So I'm not doing too well. Tyrone, imagine The Rock and Shane McMahon in the same ring today. The amount of sweat accumulation would flood the entire arena. You could throw Brock in there too. He turns purple within 2 minutes. Dripping. It would be like the Great Flood of 2024. It would just wipe out, like every city on the coast would be flooded. We wouldn't even have to wait for global warming to do us in. It would just be in one fell swoop. We'd all be just washed away into the ocean. Yuri says, I agree. Absolutely unnecessary. Maybe it's shocked disappointment. It probably is. Akoma Mikey's burner. Seth versus Cody is not a main event. So there you go. He says it's not a main event. Jake Seelig. At least the Bayley damage control segment ruled. It was very good. I thought that they pulled that off very well. The Winston slip. If WrestleMania 29 had Rock, Cena, Punk, who faces The Undertaker? It's a good question. I don't know. I don't know who the available names at the time that would have made sense. I don't know who it would have been. If you made that a triple threat, they had Triple H and Brock on the show. So that probably, it's Triple H's match, so that would have been fine. I mean, who else would have really been available for that spot? I don't know. Offhand? You're asking me to go back and remember the 2013 roster? I don't know. They had Ryback against Mark Henry. So maybe, I don't know. Undertaker and Ryback, I don't know. I have no idea. Matthew Thomas. If Cody wants to take the belt from Roman, then why would he risk The Rock winning at WrestleMania? Does that mean The Rock against Roman is non-title? It makes no sense. Well, you've just perfectly encapsulated everything I said in a few words there. It makes no sense. Now it's up to them to make sense of it. Cameron Spencer, does the latest allegations prove that Vince is a bad man, or are the stories about him greatly exaggerated? Vince is a piece of shit. And people need to come to terms with that. He's been a fucking scumbag for a very long time. I am not surprised by any of these stories. So, is he a bad man? Yes. Yes, he is. These are hardly the only stories about him. Got a few more coming in here. We got Passion. Is this Passion? My boy Passion Fruity here. Cody is about to start another wrestling company. I think he already tried that once. I don't know if he wants to do that again. Yuri says, imagine if they held off Austin 96 to 98. Yeah, yo, Steve, man, I know the people are popping for you, and I know it feels like it's your time to go in there to WrestleMania and finish your story and win the championship here. But man, you know, Backlund came back, and boy, you know, Bob wants, you got to put Bob in there, man. Bob's got to go for that title. That presidential campaign didn't work out too well for him, so we're going to bring him back and put him in that match. We got Randy Savage. We're going to sign him over from WCW. We're going to bring him back, and we're going to put Macho Man in that main event. You can wait until next year. You'll be all right. The Dada and Boys podcast. Wait, so Sports Illustrated was right. Luis said, have you ever visited El Salvador? Viva la raza salvadorena. If I even said that right, I don't know. No, I have not visited El Salvador. I just told you where I visited. El Salvador was not on the list. Jake, I give it 10 minutes before Dwayne tears something. Well, he's got 2 months to get himself in tip-top shape. I mean, look, the guy's gigantic. It's not like he's not like a physical specimen, but that's very different than getting in the ring and doing a full-length match. No one ever said The Rock was not in shape, but that's very different than being in the condition he needs to be in to have a match and not get hurt. And the older you get, the harder it gets, man. He's even older than Punk. Punk keeps tearing stuff. Rock's even older than him. The older you are and the bigger you are, like Rock, I feel like just the more dangerous it's going to be. So either he goes out there and he goes balls to the wall because he knows maybe in his mind this might be his final match and he wants to go out there and have a great one and he gets hurt. Or to protect himself, he goes out there and doesn't try to do anything that might, get him hurt. And it makes for a boring match. And we get a lot of rest holds and we get a lot of Roman Reigns talking trash, doing headlocks and stuff. I mean, take your pick, right? It's going to be one or the other. 6 lenses. Cody and Roman at Mania is like Michael Jackson and Billie Jean. It has to happen. We got Hamp with a $4.99. Mania will be Rock against Roman for the WWE title and Cody against Seth Part 4 for the world title. That's the facts of life. It is what it is. You take the good, you take the bad, you take them both, and there you have the facts of life. There you go. Captain Solo. These people who still want to defend Vince McMahon are just not intelligent individuals. They're delusional, is what they are. I think in their mind, they just feel like, unless every single story, every single minute detail of the stories and the acts that are alleged, unless every morsel of it is 100% true, then he's being wronged in some way, and it can't possibly be true. It's just delusion. It's just delusion. This is who he is. This is who he has always been. Going back to the 80s. The man is 70-some, almost 80 years old at this point, right? Isn't he like 78 now? What do you think? He's a changed man? This is a new thing? It's a powerful person who thought that he can get away with it. And he did for a very long time. And now the chickens are coming home to roost. Couldn't happen to a nicer guy. All right. Well, like I said, you guys have... Well, so apparently the update is, by the way, on that video they posted on their YouTube channel. The dislikes, I don't know what the likes are, but the dislikes are up to 75,000. Wow. All right, well, you guys killed it, so I'm going to give you some Be the Booker with stipulations tonight. My gift to you. Let's do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time to Be the Booker.
We're going to do some stipulations here in Be the Booker. It's the way I like it. That is the way that it is going to be. Yes, indeed. I'll tell you how we're going to do this. Here's how we're going to do it. We're going to kick things off here. And we got more super chats coming in. I don't care how late it gets. I'm not going to let you guys be left hanging here. I promise you I'm going to get to them all. But let's go ahead and do this here. I'm going to book a tag team match. And I'm going to pick the first team. And then I'll throw the stipulation in. And then we'll pick the opponents. So we'll do it that way. So here we go. 75,000. Yeah, 75,000 dislikes is a lot of dislikes. Wonder if they'll turn off comments. You know what I've noticed they've started doing on their YouTube channel? some of the old videos they have up there with Vince, they have turned off comments. I fully expect those videos to be pulled completely very soon. I am especially shocked that the video is still up from 2 years ago of Stephanie McMahon coming out after the first allegations came out in the Wall Street Journal, where she came out on SmackDown and led the crowd in a chant of "Thank you, Vince." How long before they pull that one? All right, here we go. We pick the Real Americans. We have Cesaro and we have Jack Swagger, who really were starting to build momentum as a team when they split them up. So the Real Americans. Now we pick the match stipulation. Now let's see what kind of a match the Real Americans are going to be in. Real Americans are going to be in a last man standing match. Have we ever seen a last man standing tag team match in WWE? I can't remember there being one. All right, though. Now we got to pick the opponent. Real Americans, last man standing against Booker T and Goldust. Love me some Booker T and Goldust. Very entertaining. A weird stipulation for a tag team match, though. But I guess it's doable, right? You got to get both men down for a count of 10. I guess that's the way it would work. All right, women's be the booker. Let's book a women's match here. Kick things off here with Tori Wilson. How about that? Tori just sat down with Chris Van Vliet for an interview the other day. Made some headlines. Tori Wilson. And now we have to pick a stipulation for Tori's match. What kind of a match will Tori Wilson be in? Tori Wilson is going to be in a... Oh, Bliss fan's going to love this. Tori Wilson in a Firefly Funhouse match. All right, well, let's see. Tori Wilson, Firefly Funhouse. Oh boy, we landed on another stip. Ronda Rousey wants a stipulation added right now, or else. Or else she's going to jump back on social media and start shooting on other executives in the company. So you better listen to her. So that means we got to pick a new stipulation. That's what that means. So out with the Firefly Funhouse. Goodbye, Firefly Funhouse. Instead, it will be a blindfold match. I'm not sure we just improved things much, but all right, it's going to be a blindfold match. Tori Wilson against Maria Kanellis in a blindfold match. That sounds terrible. That is not going to be a very good match. And now we come to the main event. This right here is the coup de grace. This is what we have been building to all night long. Maybe if we land on Rock and Roman here, we could just call it a day, right? Since we got it in Be the Booker, we don't need it at WrestleMania. We begin with, look at this guy. Big Papa Pump. Scott Steiner. The man's pecs have pecs. The man's biceps have other muscles trapped within them. This is not a normal physique. But he's not a normal man, though, right? He used to say he's not a normal human being. Scott Steiner is going to be in a match. What kind of match? Let's find out. What kind of match? An Inferno match. An Inferno match. Scott Steiner in an Inferno match. That sounds kind of dangerous. This is like something out of like a fucking video game. That's what this is. All right, Scott Steiner in an Inferno match. Let's get a drum roll. His opponent will be David Arquette. Positively awful. That's what we built. Oh, wait, no. Ignore that. Ignore that. That does not get the bell. I retract that bell. That is a terrible main event. And it has ruined Be the Booker for tonight. I'm so excited. I hit the button. I gave it the bell. I retract that bell. That does not count. All right, we got a bunch of final super chats here to get through. So let's go ahead and do it. QB says, what inning are we in now? Oh, yeah. Paul Heyman. What did Paul Heyman say a few months ago? We're only in the 3rd inning of this story. I guess now we're in the 4th inning. We're in the 4th. We got 5 more innings to go, and then we're going to hit extra innings. Yuri, Cody pinning Roman for the title is, in a way, similar to Austin fucking Vince over. At some point, the face has got to win. I don't know. Some of the people here in this chat are already turning him heel. Richie, I always thought that the Vince Swamping Lounge with Trish and Sable was unnecessary, but now I know why. Swamping Lounge? That's some kind of a club? Cameron Spencer, what are your thoughts on people defending Vince? I don't think very highly of them. Let's leave it at that. Colin C. Jacob Fatu's free agent as of yesterday. Do you think he's WWE bound? Possibly a WrestleMania appearance. I think that he should be getting a lot of interest from multiple promotions. I don't know where he's going to land. It should be WWE, but I don't know where he's going to land. Passion, fruity yogurt. Austin always said be yourself, but turn it up to 10. Vince 06 really makes sense now. There were a lot of weird segments involving him. I mean, it was weird at the time, but you look back on it now, from that SmackDown period, really from like 03 onward, I mean, there was some disturbing shit on those shows involving him. And you kind of chalk it up to, well, you know, he's just hamming it up for the performance, but no, he's just fucked up. That's what it was. Arabian Night about to get a WrestleMania main event with bare chin holds. Richie, Bill Cosby, Vince McMahon, Harvey Dent said it right in The Dark Knight. You know the quote. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Although I don't know that Vince was ever really the hero. Some people like to pretend that he was, but I've told some stories on This Week in History over the years. Like, he was never really the hero. There are people who deserve the moniker of hero in this world. Vince McMahon is not one of them. Will Chisholm. The sad part is that that match would happen in the last days of WCW. Oh, the Scott Steiner Inferno match. 8-9 Tech, this can't be it, right? There must be a twist here. I hope so. I hope so. Yuri with a little lighthearted kill. Turkey or ham? You telling me which one I want to eat or which one I want to kill? I like both. I like turkey and ham, so give me both. I'll have a turkey and ham sandwich. How about that? I've actually had turkey and ham from Subway before. So I will kill both and eat both. Matt Setzer, thank you for the 10 spot here from Matt. I skipped out on SmackDown tonight and have come to find out that I have gone back in time to WrestleMania 9. Maybe there was something I put in my cereal that made me hallucinate. Maybe you had one of those woo energies with the mushrooms and the cordyceps. That's what it was. The cordyceps has got to your brain. I told you, people. I told you about the cordyceps. Oh, man. Well, an amazing night. And unfortunately, not for all the right reasons, but you guys killed it here. And Bliss Fan, I was not aware of that. My condolences. Bliss Fan lost his dog yesterday. Well, what was the dog's name and how old was the dog? But I'm very sad to hear that. Losing a pet is the worst. It sucks. I've been through it twice. My pet days are over. But I'm very sorry to hear that. Yes, I'm aware. That's why I mentioned cordyceps is the mushroom from The Last of Us. That's why you won't see me drinking any of that woo energy. Do I think Vince McMahon is really gone this time? He is gone. Gone, gone. He is not coming back. Not now, not ever. He's done. His goose is cooked. He's toxic. He's radioactive. He's done. Yuri says, Vince never was a hero, just a villain using our love to promote his pockets. He did a very good job of it. And Luis, Scott Steiner against David Arquette in an Inferno match is better. Luis. Thank you, Luis. Alex Hernandez. Keep and erase Benoit and Vince. I think they erased themselves. Episode 847 of the podcast on Sunday is going to be one not to be missed. There is a lot to talk about. Obviously, we're going to get into all the new Vince details that came out this week. I will address some stuff I did not have the chance to address last week because I didn't do a regular Sunday show. I did other bonus shows. I didn't do a show on Sunday, though. So we'll address all that stuff. We'll talk more about this, see if we get more information that comes in from some reliable sources about the how and when this whole WrestleMania main event plan came to be. So we'll talk more about that. We'll talk about Jacob Fatu. We'll talk about the AEW rankings, which I predicted would probably be discarded within 6 months because they were ridiculous. And I've already been proven right. So we'll talk about that as well. And if you missed it, I should mention this. If you missed it, it is now up for everybody. My recap of the Undertaker One Dead Man show from Clearwater, Florida. It was part of Royal Rumble weekend last Sunday. I went to the show. I was sitting there in the fourth row as Taker told stories, and he brought a former WWE star on stage with him. So if you missed the review, went up for channel members earlier this week, and you can now go check it out on the channel. Make sure you don't miss that. 20 minutes. It's an easy listen. Richie says, I always thought that the swamping... Oh, I think he means swapping tongue, but the way he spelled it, swamping town... Brother, you're killing me here. Swapping tongue is what he meant. With Trish and Sable was unnecessary, even if it was a story, but now I know why. Yeah, of course, because he could do it, because he could get away with it. He made out with half the locker room on television. Creflo, is there a playlist of the emergency sound-offs? No, there is no playlist for the emergency sound-offs. There's no playlist, but there are a bunch of playlists here on the channel for other things. There's playlists for all of This Week in History segments. There's playlists for all of my Dark Side of the Ring reviews. And there is a playlist for Sound Off Gamer, other top 10 countdowns I've done. Go to the playlist section. You'll find some good ones there. I try to, organize as many of them as I can. But that there is no playlist for. Best in the World. Maybe Punk comes out Monday and acts like Ace Steel to Cody did in AEW and slaps him and tells him to stop doubting himself and to go after Roman at WrestleMania. I don't know. Already feels like it's too late. He already giveth. I don't know that he could take it back. Juliet, thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed the Undertaker recap. Now everybody else can as well. Seriously, thank you. You guys killed it tonight with the Super Chats. Tons of new members, tons of new subscribers. Again, we just passed 77,000 the other day. We should be on our way now on the march towards 78,000. Hopefully we'll get there soon enough. Before you know it, we'll be looking at 80K. But I can't get there without you guys. So Go ahead and hit that thumbs up on the way out. Maybe we'll end up with more likes than the video the WWE put up on their YouTube channel. But I've gone 3 hours and 20 minutes. I've taken up way too much of your time. So be well, stay safe, have yourselves a great weekend. I got a lot of work to do tomorrow. And a big podcast coming up on Sunday. Don't miss it. Episode 847. Until then, take care, guys. Mario 16 Plus, which is what got me to click on this in the first place. So it's fan-made, supposed to be a mature adult version of Super Mario Brothers. I'm sorry, it's Mario. Ooh. So here we go. I am going into this completely cold. I have not read anything. I have not played it beforehand. What's going on here? Trying to pick Mario. This is Mario. There I go again. See? Well, we're off to a great start here. I can't pronounce his name. I can't pick him, so I gotta go with Luigi. Luigi sucks. I hate Luigi. Well, the game looks like the original. It's pretty accurate in that way. Now what? What the hell's going on here? Look at this. I can't even break the blocks. Nothing is going right for me here. Can I go down the pipe? Of course not. Why should I be able to? Unbelievable. This is what I get for trying something new. Look at this. I bash my head and nothing happens. So basically, it's like a typical Monday night. Look at this. All these flashing blocks. At least I'm fully grown. I don't really need a mushroom. Well, I could use some mushrooms right now. Well, that was the easiest level of Super Mario I've... What the hell is this? What the hell is this? What is he doing? Holy shit! He's trying to collect the insurance money. What the fuck? What is this? What the hell was that? What was that?